lunged at the killer. Gendron pleaded guilty in the state case, but could still face the death penalty on federal charges. People will have a lot to say tonight at a town hall meeting in East Palestine, Ohio, where many have health concerns after a toxic train derailment and chemical.
Hey, here we go. All right, just walked in and I'm ready to go. I'm pounding my chest like a gorilla. Hey. So on the show today is Hannah Gibbs.
Thank you for bailing me out.
Yay!
Do you know what's on the show today, Ryan?
I do.
Why don't you just do it without looking at the show sheet?
Okay.
Yep.
Well,
Get on
from
camera, bud.
off camera.
I haven't seen your Wiggins America subject today.
It's about the future.
Is it? We'll see. Stand by.
Mm-hmm. It's about the future.
That's all you know about the show?
No, I know all about my segment, and I
What about
also
the
know
show?
about Deroy Murdock, one of
Ding,
our
ding,
friends,
ding.
a friend of the show, you might say.
Do you know what he's going to talk about?
I don't know.
That's on the show sheet.
I wish I had a show sheet.
You did. I gave one to you.
Hannah could tell us what Deroy's going to talk about.
Deroy is going to talk about China's best bombs for the U.S.
Best bombs.
Medicine and minerals. That is an article he wrote.
It's in Newsmax.
Newsmax. Yes. Today's YouTube poll is asking, will President Biden be the Democrat nominee in 2024? Ooh, that's interesting. We have some special guests coming inside of the studio at 1:25.
I'm very excited about this.
STS.
Yes. I'm a customer of STS. STS is coming on to sponsor the show, which is super exciting. But STS Armory is in Pontoon Beach on 111. It's where I buy my pew-pews, and it's the best place to go if you are looking for information. If you are a prospective first-time owner, this is the place to go. If you are an expert and you want to like go nerd out on all of those things, Brad says yes.
This is a place to go.
STS is a place to go. But anyway, at 1:25, we're going to talk to them and ask them questions about what Illinois is doing legislatively. We're also going to talk to them about like the process of buying something if you don't really know what it is that you're buying or needing. And we're also going to talk to them a little bit about things to do to be prepared, which is a topic of interest for me here lately. So I'm excited to have Katie and Jesse.
I'm really excited to listen to that. I think I'm going to learn a lot.
Hope so, if I do my job.
You should definitely come buy a gun in Illinois.
I'll pass. But I'll learn other things.
If you're in Missouri and you do need a place to go buy your guns, you can come to STS Armory and buy them from there as well. They can help you.
Beep boop. Go ahead, boop.
That's what we have lined up for the show.
Did we talk about poll?
Yep.
Mhm.
Will President Biden be the Democrat nominee in 2024?
Do you guys have definite feelings on
Yes.
that?
I do, but it's amazing how often we can ask that question and the answer, even though he hasn't said.
And then, like, the other thing is, too, this isn't asking if Joe Biden is running. This is asking,
Will he be the nominee?
Yeah.
So if he runs,
Well,
he'd still have to fend off competition. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that's really interesting. I'm excited for today's show. Can you guys
I
believe
would
it's Wednesday?
I would be interested to see who is willing to take him on if he does run, because I know there will be a few, but I don't know who they are. I have some ideas, but I don't know for sure.
If you think someone else will be the nominee, please comment who that is on our live section of the YouTube.
And be clever with it, because Hannah's going to star those and read those on the air.
Yeah, and I'm pretty picky about who I select.
Send her flowers and things.
Yeah.
Yes.
Send Hannah things.
She likes chocolate.
And misspell a random word in there. Hannah loves that.
Or just put a letter.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'll just read it right out. So
Just read it
whatever
exactly
you
as it is.
type, please save me and make it easy for me to read. Because I
All right.
definitely read all of them.
Okay, let's get to the show. I think we're
good.
About a minute away.
All right.
All right.
All right.
IOU for an extra $10 on the free Upside app. Get cash back for doing you with the free app from Upside.
Conservatives Care is a 97-1 monthly action plan to change our neighborhoods and our nation for the better, one project at a time. In February, we're focusing on the Animal Protective Association of Missouri.
Known for placing pets in loving homes, the APA is dedicated to bringing together people and pets in need of forever homes. This is Kathleen from the Mark Cox Morning Show, inviting you to connect with the Animal Protective Association of Missouri at 971talk.com/care.
Parenting comes with a lot of questions. At Bye Bye Baby, we're here to help you prep for everything you expected and everything you didn't. With brands you trust and expert advice, text BABY to 42229 to get $20 off your in-store purchase of $100 or more. Only at Bye Bye Baby.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call Thomas Helbig with the Retirement Advisory Group at 314-993-9494. He'll show you how to participate in the market gains without ever losing a penny. Thomas is the official financial advisor of the Mark Cox Morning Show.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
When people have a problem, they've got your number, they knock on your door. Not only you, but your spouses can't go to the grocery store, the gas station, can't show up without, can you fix my such and such?
Is that a request or is that part of the statement he was making? Hard to tell.
Yeah, I have no idea.
President Biden talking. Here's more of him talking.
Bridge over the Holly River. Look, in Washoe County in Nevada, we're spending $89 billion to add several lanes.
Okay. Well, Corinne Jean-Pierre, what do you think about this?
Is it the view of the president's communications team that he is equally adept in all settings in terms of communications, or are there some that play to greater strengths, some where he probably isn't as strong, etc.?
I will tell you this, the president is the best communicator that we have in the White House.
I mean, Corinne Jean-Pierre, not really a great endorsement of yourself.
Oh, man.
That's one of those relative compliments. He's the best communicator we have in the White House. Okay, we understand. Maybe that's why there isn't a whole lot of communication going on. Now, I play those clips, and it's President Biden struggling to get words out. This is something that is on the regular. We could do this every day. We could laugh about it. We could poke fun at it. It's not as funny as a lot of people think it is. It's actually kind of sad, first and foremost. And in the climate that we're in right now, it's scary to know that he isn't able to communicate a message. And for Corinne Jean-Pierre to just say that he's the best communicator we have in the White House, if there are no lies detected there, that's because she believes that he's the best communicator they have in the White House. Then you need to get better communicators. The biggest concern that Americans have right now with everything that America is facing is, are we up for the job? Can we handle the task at hand? And I would venture to say that pretty much all Republicans, I mean, I would know no Republicans, people who identify as Republicans, who would suggest that Joe Biden is up to this task. But Brad, wouldn't you agree that there are a lot of Democrats who, even if they wouldn't call in here and openly admit that there are a lot of Democrats going, these stakes are pretty high?
Oh, I think there are. I think there are a lot that are saying that these stakes are pretty high. This guy really isn't up to the task. But I think there's also some out there that would say he's not up to the task, but he's more up to the task than the previous guy was.
Yeah, they'd say that. They'd be wrong.
Yeah. But yeah, I think there are some out there sitting there going, oh, maybe we made a mistake.
Yeah. And that's really what leads into our YouTube live chat poll for today. If you go to the Annie Frey YouTube channel, we broadcast the show live every day, and there's a live chat portion where you can communicate along with other folks, a lively chat there each and every day. And today's poll is, will President Biden be the Democrat nominee in 2024? Yes or no? Most of the time, and we ask this question quite frequently, but most of the time that we ask this question, it's will Joe Biden run for re-election? As if the onus is on him to choose. I think that we are very much so in a scenario where he may choose to run for re-election and he will still get primaried. And he could lose that primary. I find it very difficult to think that the Democrats, hooked up to that lie detector test, would say that Joe Biden is the best they have to offer for the position. I could think of Democrats right now that I disagree with on policy wholeheartedly that I would still prefer to have in the position of president right now than Joe Biden when our national security is at stake. I just don't think that he's capable. And it's not funny. If you are consuming a lot of gaffes of the president and doing it so you can laugh, then it's possible you might not be taking the situation serious enough, or we have just lost hope. And I don't find that to be secure. I don't find that to be comforting at all. Listen to this CBS News report.
Back here in Washington, there is breaking news tonight on that Chinese spy balloon. CBS News has just learned that U.S. intelligence watched the high-flying airship as it lifted off near China's south coast. That means the U.S. military had been tracking it for nearly a week before it entered U.S. airspace, longer than originally known.
So we watched the balloon take off from China. This is a double-edged sword. I'm glad that we had the capability and the intelligence to be able to identify that. For me, I look at all of the national security things, the military things, and you insert, because folks, national security and military is different than the political stain that generally taints the way we all see those things. Because what you consume as an American is always filtered through the lens of politics, which is unfortunate. It's if you're going to filter what I get to consume due to national security interests, again, shockingly, this kind of goes back to that idea of classified documents and the fact that Mike Pence and Joe Biden and I mean, honestly, I know you're going to gag a little bit if you hate Donald Trump, but Donald Trump was the president, and if he declassified those documents, they're not classified. That's just the bottom line. If he didn't declassify them, which other people say by virtue of him removing them, he was declassifying them. Mike Davis of the Article 3 Project said that on this show. But the idea that these classified documents are classified in such a way that they're marked up all over the place. So there's no way that you get it shuffled in with your electric bill. There's no way that you're sitting at your desk in your office and you decide to take some work home and you've got the requests that are being made from people in Congress sitting there, and you've got, maybe a personal document sitting there. Oh, and the classified or top secret documents, and you just put them all together. There's no way that you do that without knowledge. If they got packed up by staffers, how in the world is that even a possibility? Shouldn't there be some sort of high-level clearance sweep of an office before staffers can come in and pack up an office and move it? I just don't even understand it. But the idea that these are classified in such a way, these documents are not to be consumed by unapproved people because they could reveal secrets and methods of how we go about our business. You have to apply that same logic, completely absent of any political lean that you have, towards what we're going to hear as the American people about how we detected their Chinese spy balloon, whether or not we knew about it before it was over Montana, what we decided to do with it. I mean, there are answers that the American people deserve. But you also have to consume that information with the understanding that if you know everything, then everyone knows everything. Which in turn is why it's so important that you trust the people who are in charge to honor that, to respect that, to keep you in the loop so that when something like this happens, you have a strong presence that comes from the White House and says, here's where we are, Americans, and you say to yourself, well, I'm glad we elected that guy or girl. That you feel in that moment a little less Republican or a little less Democrat and a whole lot more American. That's what the whole goal is. There's not even an opportunity to do that. The lack of strong response from the White House. And when I say, the suggestion that you need to be there to promote strength in your response, that doesn't mean like, we're going to nuke these bastards to hell. Like, that's not what I'm saying America needs to come out and do. I'm saying that you need to exude strength, intelligence, and resolve in a very calm and calculated message that lets the whole world know, oh, we are on this. And we know what's going on here. And we are going to act accordingly. I mean, that message right there in and of itself that I just made up at 12:16 sitting in St. Louis, Missouri, would be a welcomed message from this administration. And honestly, what did I just say? You don't even know. You're implying that we have the best military in the world. Every time I hear somebody go on cable news and talk about, what do we know? What are we doing? We're incompetent. I'm going, why are we saying this to the whole world? Is it so bad that we have to call it out on such a public stage in order to get it better? Brad, have you heard some of these reactions that people are saying? They're in the know. They're former intelligence officers, former military, and they are asked to respond to this, and they're baffled by it. Congressman Mike Bost, a Marine, on our show yesterday going, what are we doing?
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard it from people like, and I know people will say, well, Mike Pompeo is part of the Trump administration. Regardless.
Yeah, he's probably going to run against Donald Trump for president.
Mike Pompeo was in the know. He is in the know. From Arkansas, the senator, Tom Cotton. He knows. He knows these things. But then you even get like Clapper was calling it Balloongate.
Yeah. Doesn't that make you go, wait? The other side is concerned? I'm really concerned now.
Absolutely. And here's my thing. Like you said earlier, we don't need somebody to go out there, that like talks a big game or whatever. But I sit here and I can hear like FDR delivering the Pearl Harbor address after Japan attacked the United States. And I go to myself and I imagine myself trying to hear Joe Biden deliver a similar type of message, or a type of message that Reagan would have delivered in the 80s when he addressed the nation to calm everybody down in the middle of the Cold War. Whenever those people were at the helm, you had a good feeling of who was in control, what was going on. And then I look at Joe Biden, he'll come out and he'll say something, but then he has this like slack-jawed stare when somebody's asking him a question, like, oh no, I don't know what to say to this. And I don't feel good with him in control.
People, myself included, keep saying the president needs to speak.
Mm-hmm. But then
the only thing worse than not speaking is speaking? Is that possible?
Well,
are we here?
I mean, we might be. Because, he could go out there and lay an absolute egg, because we've seen him have these disasters.
Juice him up the way you did for the State of the Union.
No joke.
We just need 15 minutes, not an hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Nikki Haley gave her announcement speech today. I listened to it on the way into work today. And this is a total aside. She does not speak. Her delivery is going to need a lot of work. She speaks in a very maternal kind of school teachery way, something women have to deal with that men don't. But she is strong and she is very convicted. Mike Pompeo is somebody who is strong, very convicted. And when he goes in front of people, you see him show strength, and it's like you can look in his eyes and know, oh man, that guy knows things. And he loves his country. And he's going to protect it. But you know what? We never had to hear from those people in the Trump administration. You know why? Because Donald Trump was right there in front of the camera, right there in front of the reporters, saying, bring it on. What do you got for me? There's not a question that you can ask me right now that I'm not willing to face. It's as if the front lines for Donald Trump were the press. And the press, their advocacy is supposed to be for you and me. The point of the press is supposed to be to clear all of the distractions away to simply expose the truth. There's certainly an industry that once that truth is exposed, that people from all sorts of walks of life and political opinions can come together and fight over what that truth tells us about what should happen next. That's healthy. That's American. That's the First Amendment. But the idea of journalism and the press is to clear the runway for the truth to take off. And we have not had that, certainly in Trump's administration. We have not had that in this administration. But to me, the complicity with silence from the administration, it's going to make the situation worse for the administration. And more for the administration, it's going to make it worse for the country. The strength of the American people is evident in the strength of the press, the connection of the American people, all political parties involved, all media entities involved, wherever they lean, left, right, whatever. That connection should be the most protected connection that we have, which empowers the press to go ask the tough questions because the people will have their back. But we have divided, left and right, the media into entities that answer to the interest of their affiliated political parties. Very difficult to clear the runway for truth in that scenario. And if truth isn't exposed, we could be done for. It's kind of frightening if you really think about it. The YouTube live chat poll today: will President Biden be the Democrat nominee in 2024? Yes or no? Not will he run. Will he be the nominee? However you vote, leave your comments. Hannah is looking for him. She's going to highlight those at the 2:45 segment today. Deroy Murdock is going to join us right at the top of the 1 o'clock hour. He's got an article out, and it's China's best bombs for the United States, medicines and minerals. We are going to listen to what Deroy has to say about that at 1 o'clock. And then, folks, very excited about our 125 guests. For the rest of the 1 o'clock hour, we have STS Armory. Our friends at Pontoon Beach's gun shop, where I shop, where Brad is shop, my family shops, STS Armory. You're going to want to check them out, sts-armory.com right now. And we're going to talk about the new gun laws that are in the state of Illinois, where those are at in the legal system. We're going to talk about purchasing guns. We're going to talk a little bit about being prepared as well with our friends at STS Armory, new sponsors back on the show with us. We're so excited about it. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
The sun's still shining in the big blue sky, but it don't mean nothing to me.
Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
Save money on your grocery bill at Ruler Foods. You can find the Ruler Foods nearest you at rulerfoods.com. I am a shopper at Ruler Foods. My family loves our weekly stops at the Collinsville Ruler Foods, usually after a practice or something in Collinsville. And when we walk through the store, it is so nicely organized and clean and presented in a way that really makes it simple to shop and save on your grocery bill. They have great deals on snacks. They have great deals on drinks, Pepsi or Mountain Dew 12 packs, 4 for $14. When you buy 4, that's a great savings. They also have great deals on produce. You can fill your cart for less at Ruler Foods. And I'm going to be honest, I posted a picture of my cart the first time I went to the Collinsville one, and you guys were really, really judgmental of how messy my cart was. Is that a thing? Do you have to have your cart be like super organized? Apparently mine is not adequate, but I did fill it up and I did save a whole lot of money on buying food and groceries for my family. And I hope you'll give them the chance to help you save money as well. Rulerfoods.com.
Surprise!
Surprise!
You know, surprise parties, they can be fun, right? Well, financial surprises, not so much, especially when you're retired, like finding out you owe more in taxes than you thought you would, or having to go back to work to make ends meet. Maybe you think you'll be okay, but why not double check just to be sure? Call Marvin Mitchell at Compass Retirement Solutions and schedule a retirement double check. Marvin and his team have been helping families plan for retirement for more than 15 years. Call 314 374-373-1598 to schedule your retirement double check with Marvin Mitchell at Compass Retirement Solutions. That's 314-373-1598. Don't let a financial surprise derail your retirement dreams. Give Marvin and the team a call, 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services, investments, and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and in Illinois.
The federal government is hiring 87,000 new IRS employees and enforcement agents. Make no mistake, with spending out of control, they're looking to collect revenue. The first target will be you. If you have not paid your taxes or filed them in years, let me help you get that target off your back. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm here in St. Louis. So if you have unfiled returns, wage levies, bank levies, or tax liens, now's the time to call the Lance Drury Law Firm before the IRS calls you. Your consultation is free, so don't put it off. The Lance Drury Law Firm focuses solely on tax resolution law. It's all we do. And if you have IRS problems, you have legal problems. Let us use our tax law resolution experience to guide you and work on your custom resolution plan. Call now. It's free and confidential. Call me, Lance Drury, at 314-260-6120 or go to LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
It is a big fly! Cardinals single game tickets for the 2023 season are on sale now and start at just $6. The schedule is filled with great matchups, including weekend series with the Yankees, Dodgers, Cubs, and more. The promo schedule is packed with fan favorites too, like jerseys, bobbleheads, legendary player tributes, and so much more. There's something for everyone in the 2023 season. Get your tickets now at Cardinals.com.
Arenado swings. He hits it a mile. Left field. It's a gunner.
Cardinals theme tickets are on sale now, and the 2023 lineup looks better than ever. Backed by popular demand, check out returning favorites like Star Wars, Margaritaville, Grateful Dead, Boy Band Night, St. Louis Blues Night, Teachers and Nurses, Don't Miss Friends Night, Shark Week, Sesame Street, and more. For a complete list of all the 2023 theme nights, visit cardinals.com/theme.
Get ready for a night of enjoying some fine bourbon. Mark Cox here. Join me Thursday, March 2nd for a one-of-a-kind bourbon tasting event at the Clayton Wine House. Sample spirits from Redwood Empire, New Riff, Old Dominic, Green River, Garrison Brothers, Four Roses, Devil's River, and even my very own barrel pick from Oak and Eden. Tickets include tastings and appetizers. Get yours at 971talk.com/events. That's 971talk.com/events. Hope to see you there.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Me and all my friends, we're all misunderstood. They say we stand for nothing and there's no way we ever could. Now we see everything that's going wrong with the world and those who lead it. We just feel like we don't have the means to rise above and beat it. So we keep waiting, waiting on the world to change. We keep on waiting, waiting on the world to change. It's hard to beat the system when we're standing at a distance. So we keep waiting, waiting on the world to change.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. I was talking when I was discussing Ruler Foods with you there just a minute ago. I was shopping in Ruler Foods a few weeks ago. I posted this picture on my Facebook page of my Ruler Foods shopping cart. And the truth behind the story is that when we go shopping, I have two kids who generally like to get the things off the shelf and put them in the cart. I have my oldest daughter likes to calculate. She gets our phone and she types in the calculator and totals up the bill as we go through the whole shopping process. And we usually spend about $100 or so when we go to Ruler Foods. And so she likes to tally it to see how close we get to that number. And my kids are throwing the things in like, oh, okay, get 2 boxes of Kraft macaroni and cheese. And so my 6-year-old will throw them in there. So the cart looks like it was packed by kids. You know why? Because it was packed by kids. but I took a picture of it to share it with you to tell you guys, folks, I'm going to Ruler Foods, and it really is an amazing experience. And the reaction that I got from a lot of people on that Facebook post, and this was a few weeks ago, so if you go to the Facebook page, first of all, please like the page. I don't know why our likes our likes haven't gone up on the Facebook page at all for months. They definitely are doing something to shadow ban us or something. Is it required to organize your shopping cart while you are grocery shopping? Brad, I know that Terry, your wife, does the majority of the shopping for you guys. Is she a cart organizer?
I don't think so. I think she has a, like, I don't know, maybe the fragile stuff doesn't go on the bottom organization, but outside of that, I think it's just wherever stuff fits in the cart. Just pile it up, and as you get it, as you go through the grocery store.
Get the eggs first and put them on the bottom and throw things on top of them. But I think the produce goes in the top part if the baby is not in the top part. And at a place like Ruler Foods, one of the ways that they have you save money is you can like box your groceries up in bags that you bring, or take a box that's empty off the shelf and start putting stuff in there, which is what I like to do. I just didn't know. I think that this is a great divider of people, how your grocery cart looks. I think the one thing we should all agree on is that you should return your grocery cart when you're done with it, which at Ruler Foods or any other place where you have to put a quarter in, that pretty much takes care of itself. We've been talking about our YouTube live chat poll today. Will President Biden be the Democrat nominee for 2024? Yes or no? I want to ask you that question, Brad. Is it, if you had a definitive answer here, or what you would be compelled to vote?
I do have a definitive answer. I still don't think Biden's going to finish his term, so I don't think he's going to be the nominee.
You really don't think he's going to finish?
No.
Do you have a prediction on how that doesn't happen?
I've got two.
Is it? Let me give you two options. He steps down, or he's moved out. Which is it?
I think that he steps down, but I think he steps down after a lot of pressure for him to be moved out.
But it's his politically
his choice.
His choice. That's the only way for the Democrats really truly to do this in a way that salvages the party, at least in the current state that it's in. I've seen people commenting on our YouTube live chat poll and saying very confidently that they believe that Joe Biden will be the nominee. But the reason why I bring this up is that it is, to me, so important for the Republicans to wait and see what the Democrats do. Brad, don't you think it's a very different story if Joe Biden is the Democrat nominee, or if nobody else is getting in the race and he will be the eventual nominee? I mean, it's a seriously different race if it's Joe Biden or not.
Well, yeah, and as crazy as this sounds, too, I think it's a seriously different race because I saw this statistic today. The average age of the American male is like lifespan is like 77 or 78 years or something like that. Joe Biden's already over that. What will change, one of the big things that will change about this upcoming presidential election is people are going to be aware of that. And then they're going to be more aware of who the vice president nominee is. And that's going to be a lot more consequential than other ones. You know, in years past, the vice president has just been, let's get this person to help coalesce this other aspect of, you know, the party or the vote we're trying to get. Now it becomes, hey, this is really about who would possibly take over if this man doesn't finish out his term. And I think that changes it. I think that his display, you know, he's not going to get any faster. He's not going to get any sharper. At best, he maintains.
At best.
At best. And
if you compare the way he looks now to the way he looked when he campaigned in 2020, it's a drastic difference.
Well, he's stopped doing the old man jog that he used to do. I mean, that kind of quit when he fell up the stairs going to Air Force One. But remember how he used to like run to the podium to show how vigorous and healthy he was? He doesn't do that anymore. Now he just kind of walks, and he has this high-stepping kind of walk across the grass. Artificially high-stepping. I think he's making extra sure he doesn't hook his foot on a blade of grass and fall over in front of the press as he's walking to Marine Corps One or whatever that helicopter is.
President Trump, when he was in office, we were constantly confronted by journo activists. That's what Christina Pashaw called the one who was attacking Ron DeSantis. We can get to that a little bit later. Journo activists. We were constantly pressured by what used to be the mainstream media to question the fitness of the president, of Donald Trump. What a freaking joke. Unbelievable. I mean, if they wanted to question the mental stability of Donald Trump, the assertion that people were making about him being mentally unstable is the greatest case, the definitive case of gaslighting that I have ever seen. The idea of gaslighting is that you create a scenario where somebody believes something to be true, and then you make them think they're crazy for believing that that thing is true. When you've created a scenario for them to live in this reality, and then you, the crazy person, pretend or act as if they're crazy for believing that certain things happened, which really manifests a multiple reality situation where one entity is living in one reality with one set of facts, and the other entity boldly lives in a different reality with a different set of facts. That's where you get phrases like your truth. We were asked to question Donald Trump's mental stability, but if you look back on what these people did to Donald Trump when he was in office, would you not be enraged? Brad, if you think about every accusation that they made about Donald Trump, and really what it ends up boiling down to is like, it'll devolve into, maybe in the chat it already has here, but it'll devolve. Stormy Daniels is going to come up. And then people are going to talk about how he's a philanderer and he's, not a good Christian person. He's never, ever presented himself to be better than that. That's not who he came in, like the Kool-Aid man, to the 2016 primary, the red Kool-Aid man, or orange, saying who he was. He never lied about it. He never generated some sort of faux front that suggested that he was, the golden retriever, John Deere driving conservative Republican. No, he was like, these people over here, they suck. And the people on the right that you're supposed to vote for, they kind of suck too. And I'm going to show everybody how the game is played. And then he did.
Yeah.
And he made everybody mad.
He showed up to the Iowa State Fair with his helicopter. The Iowa State Fair is where like all these politicians go to be the everyman.
They
and
wear
put
jeans and
their
someone's
jeans
like,
and,
boots. Somebody give me some boots.
give me some boots. Oh, where's the grill? Where's the grill? Quick, give me an apron. And they go
give
grill
me something
stuff.
deep fried.
Yeah. Look how relatable I am. Donald Trump showed up in his helicopter and his suit.
And Donald Trump also eats like super deep fried things in his gold-plated office in the top of a New York City penthouse.
Yeah. What Donald Trump did is he said, he showed up, he didn't say, I'm this person, I'm the perfect person. He said, they're messing with the middle class. They're messing with your jobs. They're taking your jobs away. They're sending your jobs away. We need to secure the southern border. We need to kill TPP. We need to bring jobs back to America. We need to restore America to its manufacturing greatness. I'm the man that can do that because look at all the businesses I've run. And look at how successful I am. My suit, my helicopter, my private jet. I've done all of this. Give me a shot.
The best example of this, from the words of Dave Chappelle himself.
And I'm watching the news now, they're declaring the end of the Trump era. Now, okay, I can see how in New York you might believe this is the end of his era. I'm just being honest with you. I live in Ohio amongst the poor whites. A lot of you don't understand why Trump was so popular, but I get it because I hear it every day. He's very loved. And the reason he's loved is because people in Ohio have never seen somebody like him. He's what I call an honest liar. Well, I'm not joking right now. He's an honest liar. That first debate, I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen a white male billionaire screaming at the top of his lungs, this whole system is rigged, he said. And across the stage was a white woman, Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama, sitting over there looking at him like, no, it's not. I said, now, wait a minute, bro. It's what he said. And the moderator said, well, Mr. Trump, if in fact the system is rigged, as you suggest, what would be your evidence? You remember what he said, bro? He said, I know the system is rigged because I use it. I said, And then he pulled out an Illuminati membership card and chopped a line of cocaine up and put it right into the podium. No one ever heard someone say something that true. And then Hillary Clinton tried to punch him in the taxes. She said, this man doesn't pay his taxes. He shot right back. That makes me smart. And then he said, if you want me to pay my taxes, then change the tax code. But I know you won't, because your friends and your donors enjoy the same tax breaks that I do. And with that, my friends, a star was born. No one had ever seen anything like that. No one had ever seen somebody come from inside of that house, outside, and tell all the commoners, we are doing everything that you think we are doing inside of that house. They just went right back in the house and started playing the game again.
You know, Dave Chappelle couldn't be more spot on until that very last second. Just went right back in the house and started playing the game again. No, he went into the house and he turned the tables over. He didn't have to do it. He didn't need to do it for himself. He, in many ways, did it in spite of himself. And I think there's a huge amount of that is ego-driven to see. He said many times, if I ran for president, I would win. And everyone's like, oh, that's cute. I absolutely see why a man like Donald Trump would go, all right, watch me. And then he did, and he upended the whole system that Donald Trump told us he would do when he campaigned, that Dave Chappelle highlighted there. He's absolutely right. Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton on that stage that understand how the system is set up to protect the people that it's set up to protect. That system thrives on keeping the status quo for the little ones like you and me. The insignificance of the rubes that have to just keep plugging away and keep pumping their tax dollars little by little into the system so that they can keep making it rain all across the special interests, left and right, both sides of the aisle. They all do it. And Donald Trump, with all of his flaws, with all of his non-traditional golden retriever, John Deere, sun-setting golden hour in a wheat field Republican representation, said, I know about this. I can do something about this. And one by one, primary candidates left the primary because Donald Trump had beat them. And then he upset Hillary Clinton in one of the most memorable nights of my life because I didn't believe it. It was weeks after the election, and I was waiting for someone to go, oh, hold on a second. We found the error here. We got 4 years. Where would we be without those 4 years under Donald Trump? The biggest knock that Democrats have against Donald Trump is he's not the Republican who is easy to beat. He's the kind of Republican that shatters the narrative, the goody two-shoes, Christian, holier-than-thou narrative, which, by the way, is anti-Christian, I might add. He played politics the way Democrats play politics, and he beat them at their own game. I don't know that there's anyone else out there who can do that and win. I'm also not convinced that that's the only way to win. I do know that the stakes are too high not to win. Vote in the YouTube live chat poll. Will President Biden be the Democrat nominee in 2024? We need your votes, yes or no. Yeah, yesterday we almost got to 200 votes. Would love for you to help us push that number over 200 for today. Now, when we come back, Wiggins America in studio, as he is traditionally at 12:45. He's going to talk to us about an automated future. Are you for it? Are you against it? We'll find out what Wiggins has to say about it when we come back. Don't go away.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
Thomas Helbig of the Retirement Advisory Group, his nephew, Bob Kershaw, his wife, Tammy, family business at the Retirement Advisory Group is excited to work with you. Have you really transitioned your mindset now that you're potentially in your mid-50s or so, and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I might be retiring in the next 5, 8, 10 years. How do I need to make sure that everything I've worked hard for is going to work hard for me once I get to that retirement? Am I going to be able to do the things I've dreamt of doing? Maybe can I retire earlier than I expected? Thomas Elbick can help you answer all those questions, but not if you don't call him and set up a free sit-down conversation with him that's going to result in zero obligation to you, just to talk about where you are and what your goals are and how he can help you. And then you let him give you that information, and then you decide what you want to do next. 314-993-9494. That's what the number you call. Tell him the Annie Frey Show sent you for sure, and get the process started. 314-993-9494 for your no-cost, no-obligation retirement review. You can learn all the information you need to know online at retirementkey.com.
For adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy, now there's Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months, and Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Nothing in me go hand in hand. Nothing on my skin, that's my new plan. Nothing is everything.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, you could achieve 90% clearer skin. Ask your doctor about the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Are there ways you could dramatically reduce your taxes in retirement? Oh, you better believe it. Learn how in a one-night adult education class, Retirement Planning 101. It's held at colleges and universities throughout Greater St. Louis. Each class is taught by a fiduciary advisor with decades of financial planning experience. In just 3 hours, you'll learn how you could reduce your taxes in retirement, get more from Social Security, pay for health care, invest for income, and more. If you've saved at least $300,000 for retirement, register by calling Financial and Tax Architects, your retirement professors, at 314-626-8816. You'll pay zero tuition if you call today. So don't wait. Call 314-626-8816. 314-626-8816.
Tune into the Del Walmsley Radio Show. Del, self-made millionaire and founder of Lifestyles Unlimited, will show you how to live the life of your dreams and pay for it with passive income.
Listen to the Del Walmsley Radio Show this Saturday afternoon from 1 to 2 p.m. on 97.1 FM Talk.
Join us at Odyssey as we all do our one thing, together millions of things for our planet. Did you know that romance can be eco-friendly? Simply give your sweetheart an experience rather than a gift. You can plan a night on the town that includes dinner at a local restaurant, ballroom dancing, or tickets to the theater. You could also plan a couple's massage or even a hot air balloon ride. You can create a great memory without creating any physical waste. When we each share our one thing, it becomes 100 things, 1,000 things, 1,000,000 things for our planet. What's your one thing?
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is celebrating 54 years of residential and commercial service, maintenance, and installation of heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
97.1 FM Talk.
Talk radio, and I love politics.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
I love it.
Everyone is welcome. You're listening to the Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Wild thing, I think I love you. But I wanna know for sure. Come on, hold me tight. I love you.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. How was your Valentine's Day, Ryan Wiggins?
Oh, man. Never had a better one. That's kind of a joke.
Was it bad?
No, it was just a normal day.
Tuesday.
It was a Tuesday.
All right.
And when I actually went to the store last night, and I thought about that. Every single person I'm seeing in the store right now is having a normal Tuesday.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it was fulfilling an obligation.
No, because I did see one couple, and they were walking with some flowers and looked like Valentine-y stuff, like they were going together in the store to pick out things for each other, which was kind of cool. Other than that, everybody was just walking around.
What if we could automate Valentine's?
Wiggins! Oh, Wiggins! Darn right.
Did I tell you that in Collinsville, there was a boy about 8 years old sitting on the corner, I presume, hopefully in front of his house with a folding table. He had a big thing of roses, long stem roses, homemade bracelets, and Valentine's Day cards, and he was selling them.
Oh,
that's amazing.
And
I
had $4. And the roses were $2, so I bought 2 roses from him.
You stopped. That's great.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, this is not like, I'm not like a baller. I had hundreds and 50s and 4 $1 bills, and the only reason is because you paid me for the Disney tickets.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, I'm not going to do that. Although if I were in a position to make that kid's day, that would have been so cool. I'm just not in that position right now.
Number one, I always try to stop when I see a kid doing a lemonade stand or whatever, as long as I can, because sometimes it'll be on such a busy street. You're like, oh, no, I can't do that.
You can't stop, so you just throw change out your window as you go by.
Good marketing. You get a lot of traffic here, but it's hard to stop.
So we gave one of those roses to my mother-in-law, and then I have one that's literally in like a cup out of the cupboard in Mom's table.
This is not the topic, but you bring up a good point. Are we to the point where inflation has gotten us to where carrying 100s and 50s is going to be the new norm? Because I still feel weird when I give somebody a 50 at a gas station.
I don't carry that.
I don't usually either. But we're going to have to start at some point.
Here's the kind of cash that I carry. The kind that can get me into a grade school basketball game as a parent.
Yeah. Or a couple of roses from a kid with a card table.
Yeah. Will you take this flower as payment? They probably would.
Well, here's my real scenario to submit to you. You exit the plane going to your favorite vacation, wherever that may be. You get off the plane and you call an Uber. The Uber shows up. You open the door. You know it's yours because it's right in front of you. There is no driver in that car.
Pass. Horse and buggy, please.
You won't get in.
Oh, heck no.
Brad?
No.
In a strange place that I've just landed in a plane, get in a driverless car?
Let's
This
say
sounds exactly like something
my
you would do.
laptop is a gaming laptop, and it is high quality, and it crashes from time to time. I'm not getting in a car that doesn't have a driver.
Let's say it's here. Does it matter that you're on vacation?
Even
What if
more
this
so here.
comes to
We're gonna-
St. Louis?
We're going to talk to STS Armory at 1:25 in studio, and we're going to be answering your questions. So this is just a little plug for us going in the future. Whether you're in Illinois and you want to know about the Illinois gun laws or have questions about any of that, or you are interested in making a purchase, we're going to talk to them for a couple segments in the 2 o'clock hour. No, now is the time to protect yourself and to be in control of your person, which means not getting into cars without drivers.
It's coming.
When you take a wrong turn in St. Louis, you're in a dangerous neighborhood like that.
Ideally, it would know where to go because it's being tested right now.
Word you just said there.
Ideally.
Yeah, it's a big word.
Let me go even more conspiracy theory on this.
Go.
Driverless cars have an automated system. Automated systems can be hacked. This is a new way, and it'll be a new avenue that hackers will become assassins and be able to kill people by hacking their vehicles and getting them in a benign routine car accident
Ryan.
that these aren't supposed to get into.
Ryan, obviously.
I think I've seen that movie. I don't remember which movie it was, but there is a movie that's the
several
plot.
movies.
Because this is coming. I'm telling you, it's coming. Amazon is testing a fleet of robo-taxis on public roads right now in California using their own employees as passengers.
You know the Darwin Awards?
Mm-hmm.
This is like a test.
To see who's going to get in. Here's the thing, though.
It's one of those things that you're like, I would never do that, but it might call the herd.
Yes. Well, no, hang on. Now you said call the herd. That's not where I was headed. But if everybody starts doing this, if it becomes fairly common, I can't see not doing it, especially with just something like an Uber.
No.
I'm not asking you, Brad, whether you'd own one.
I'm going to be Will Smith and iRobot. They're like, we saw you had your car on manual again. I'm like, you darn right I did. I'm mad my car doesn't just have manual mode.
The future that they're trying to present, and I'm not talking about just Amazon, but people who are advocates of the self-driving cars, is that there will be a day when you as an individual, even living in the suburbs, a lot of people do this in the city already, but living in the suburbs or rurally, don't even have to own a car. that you would wake up every day and it would kind of know where you go.
You sound like Joe Biden in the
I
State of
like
the Union.
owning my car.
Hey,
I
we're
do
going to
too.
need oil for the next 10 years, guys. You know that.
No.
But you can picture that happening, can't you? Where people,
I can see them try. No, I can't actually see that
you
happen.
don't even have a car. You wake up, you punch in your app, and you go, I'm ready to go to such and such
I
place.
think for maybe
One just comes
30%
and
of the population, that
picks
sounds
you up.
like utopia. But for the rest of the population, that sounds like a chance for totalitarianism.
Teleportation would be great.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that either.
Cars have killed the
taken apart.
teleportation industry. Big oil has killed the teleportation industry.
Big oil's killed big teleportation.
Drill, baby, drill.
That's the solution. Oh, great. Here we go with your talking points.
There's like 7 people on our YouTube chat are like, I knew it was going to come down to this. Drill, baby, drill. Yeah, that's right. You heard it here first. When we come back, Deroy Murdock is going to talk to us about China and the things that they've done so far to infiltrate our country that don't even necessarily have to do with balloons. And STS Armory, my friends and sponsors of this show, going to talk a little Second Amendment, flexing those muscles and teaching you how to be prepared for whatever comes your way. Can't wait to have this conversation at 1:25. Don't go away.
Hi guys, it's Mark. Did erectile dysfunction ruin your Valentine's Day? It's time to find the solution you need. This is a simple and painless process with no pills and no side effects. Today, Wednesday, February 15th, we're running a one-day special you won't want to miss out on. Pineview Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy. This is a technology clinically shown to repair blood vessels and improve blood flow. It's backed by 60 clinical studies, including from Cambridge University. Call us now and you'll qualify for the assessment and blood flow analysis totally free. You'll also get a gift that can produce rapid and powerful results in the bedroom in minutes. You're going to love that one, guys. Trust me. This is an unprecedented offer worth hundreds of dollars, but call today and qualify totally free. Call 314-530-7777. That's 314-530-7777. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your life back. Call Pineview Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today, Wednesday, 314-530-7777.
You need to have your heating system checked, and Air Comfort Service is there to provide you with the confidence and the trust that you need in good information and great advice. You can call Air Comfort Service at 314-513-0091. And let me just take this minute right now, whether it's heating or air conditioning or insulation or whatever your concerns might be in the HVAC category, that having this phone number in your phone, just putting it in there right now, is an incredibly smart thing to do. Maybe you don't have a dramatic need right now, but when the time comes, you want to know the right people to call. The Frey family calls Air Comfort Service, 314-513-0091. 314-513-0091. They've been awarded the BBB Torch Award in 2020, an 8-time recipient of Carrier's President's Award. They have been named a top workplace by the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. As a customer, I approve of them greatly, but you can ask even the people who work for them. They do great work, they help people, and they can help you as well. 314-513-0091, aircomfortservice.com.
Hi, this is Brian with Velocity Home Buyers, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 314-782-3333. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition and any price range in the St. Louis area. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that needs updating, but you don't have the time or money for it? Great, because I love buying outdated houses. I buy vacant houses, job relocation houses, and foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 314-782-3333. That's 314-782-3333.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Reassuring words for air travelers. On Lisa Brady, Fox News. At a Senate hearing, the FAA acting administrator, Billy Nolan, says the aviation system is safe.
I can say without reservation that the aviation professionals who comprise the American aerospace industry are proud of our safety record.
Although he also tells lawmakers.
But we all know that complacency has no place in air transportation. whether he's on the flight deck, in the control tower, the ramp, or the dispatch center.
The hearing follows a computer outage that led to a nationwide ground stop and a series of recent close call incidents. Nolan says he's forming a safety review team and will hold a summit next month, but he notes that upgrading aging computer systems will take time. 2 Republican senators want Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg to answer questions about oversight of the freight rail system after the recent toxic derailment in Ohio, where residents are raising health concerns despite state and federal assurances as the air, water, and homes are tested for chemicals. In Arizona, a 3-mile shelter-in-place order after a hazardous material spill on a highway, Interstate 10 in Tucson. The gunman who killed 10 black people at a New York supermarket is locked up for life.
Peyton Gendron has officially been sentenced to life without parole for last May's rampage at the Tops Friendly Market in Buffalo. Gendron, a white supremacist, is now 19 and pleaded guilty in November to charges including murder and domestic terrorism motivated by hate, charges which carry an automatic life sentence. Victims' relatives spoke before the sentencing, and one person charged at Gendron. He cried in court and apologized.
I did a terrible thing that day. I shot and killed people because they were black.
The judge imposed separate sentences of life without parole, one for each victim, to run concurrently.
Fox's Tanya J. Powers, the death penalty hasn't been ruled out in a separate federal case. America is listening to Fox News.
I'd rather ride a bike with my kids than ride in an ambulance.
I'd rather have a catch with my dog Curtis than catch pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with certain chronic conditions like heart disease, asthma, or diabetes, you may be at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20 pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect against pneumococcal pneumonia in just 1 dose. Learn more at Prevnar20.com. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. The most commonly reported side effect was pain at the injection site. For additional common side effects and full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Let's get it up to 69 degrees this afternoon with lots of sunshine, a little bit on the windy side. Tonight, clouds take over quickly. Rain, a rumble of thunder after midnight, 39. Thursday, unsettled, changeable skies. Some showers around in the morning, maybe a rumble of thunder, a couple of wet snowflakes in the afternoon. 48 for the high Thursday, but 38 by late in the day, 20 at night. This is 97.1 FM Talk, Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Starting your morning in the right direction.
I listen to you every morning.
The Mark Cox Morning Show.
My husband and I both work for a living, and it's really hard to watch the news, so thank you.
Weekdays from 5 to 9.
Good morning, Mark. Thank you so much for what you do.
On 97.1 FM Talk.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-777-1979. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-777-1979. That's 800-777-1979. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-777-1979. 800-777-1979.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com. Or call us toll-free at 888-367-6512.
Now, your Live Nation lineup.
Don't miss these upcoming shows. Hollywood Casino Amphitheater, Hank Williams Jr., June 16th. Foreigner, July 19th. Leonard Skinner and ZZ Top, August 17th. Enterprise Center, Bryan Adams with Joan Jett, July 1st. GEHA Field at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. Billy Joel and Stevie Nicks, August 19th.
For tickets and info, hit up livenation.com.
I'm Eric Robert with Stifel. The economy is always changing, but what does it mean for your investments? Join me and fellow Stifel financial advisor Bob Stockdale during On the Money, Saturday mornings from 11 until noon on 97.1 FM Talk. Stifel, member NYSE and SIPC.
At Fountains Family Dentistry, they know how important it is to having a great smile and looking and feeling good about that smile. That's why Dr. Ty Parker at Fountains Family Dentistry and the entire team there in Fairview Heights, Illinois, is committed to providing the highest quality in family and cosmetic dentistry. I talk about general dentistry a lot. That's just the general maintenance, getting your teeth cleaned, stuff you know you need to do. But sleep medicine is also on that list. Highly, highly recommend that if you're having problems sleeping, that you give them a call or just see if it might work for you, because if you have sleep apnea, you probably have gotten used to not sleeping well and you don't even really know it. So give them a call. They'll let you know if it's right for you or not. They're not going to waste your time. They'll let you know ahead of time. But they also do dental implants and clear braces, stuff that may not be on your list right now, but may be on your family's list eventually. So make them your home. Fountains Family Dentistry. They're in Fairview Heights, Illinois, and open early some days, late some days, easy to get to from no matter where you are. FountainsFamilyDentistry.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
There has been reporting that 3 times during the Trump administration, Chinese balloons were at least in American airspace. Were you aware of that?
No, and they've admitted that now. And by the way, just so you know, their first story was different. They have now had to reload this story, to be very polite, as my best diplomatic language. They have had to reload this story multiple times now. They've originally said this happened in the Trump administration, hinting that somehow we'd failed in the same way that they had failed. We all came out and said we didn't know anything about it. They have now confirmed that we didn't know anything about it.
So who's the enemy here as far as the administration is concerned? I've been harping a lot on the fact that the administration has no perceived interest in coming out and delivering a very concise and direct message that shows the American people that you are safe and secure and shows the world that we have resolve and we have interest in protecting our national sovereignty. We haven't seen that yet, but we have seen the political jabs back and forth. What is the American interest right now in what is taking place in our airspace, in our southern border, the whole thing? What is worth protecting? Let's talk to our friend Deroy Murdock. He is a nationally syndicated columnist, also a Fox News contributor, and he joins us now. Deroy, welcome back to the show. It's great to have you.
Andy, it's great to be with you again.
When you're assessing, just like the rest of us from the ground, and looking into the sky and seeing these things, you know, they floated right over St. Louis. We have air bases, Scott Air Force Base, a refueling base here, went right over the top of that. Midwesterners are not used to being really a part of the story. It's usually more coastal, but this has involved the entire country. And it seems as though China, first and foremost for that first balloon, is very much so involved. Doesn't seem as though the administration is looking to push back on that with strength.
Not really. I mean, look, whether you love or hate Donald J. Trump, if this had happened, he would be in front of the cameras probably every 30 minutes giving details on this and explaining what he's done, what he did about it. You know, he might be, pounding his chest and trying to be braggadocious or whatever, but, we would at least have the details of what's happening or have some information. Instead, we've got Jean-Pierre getting up and saying she can't say very much. Then you've got folks at the Pentagon saying one thing. Biden's more or less been invisible since the State of the Union address, and he barely mentioned it then. And now we discover that apparently we knew that this balloon was being launched when it left China, tracked it all the way across the Pacific, and when it entered U.S. airspace over Alaska. It didn't just suddenly pop up there. We didn't know it was there. We've been tracking this thing for days, and we let it drift across Alaska, over Canada, over the Rockies, the Midwest, and then off the coast of South Carolina, and I think off from the beaches of Myrtle Beach. You could, sands of Myrtle Beach, look up and see it shot out of the sky after, as you say, it had flown over the bases near you, as well as the bases in Montana where our ballistic missiles are stored. And this is, the balloon was allowed to conduct its espionage mission essentially in peace before it was destroyed. And now we've got 3 or 4 or 5 other things being blown up over Lake Huron and over the Yukon and so on. Now, who knows if we're told, oddly enough, that we definitely know that these are not Chinese espionage balloons, but we don't know what they are. So how do you know what they're not if you don't know what they are? They're very strange. So we have a lot of questions, very few answers, and real absence of transparency on the part of the Biden White House.
We're speaking with Deroy Murdock. He is a nationally syndicated columnist, a Fox News contributor, and the timeline that you're articulating here, the CBS report that we played earlier on the show, says that we knew about this balloon. We watched it lift off from China in January. It's kind of comforting to me to know that it didn't just pop up one day and we were like, oh, hey, what's this thing? But at the same time, when did they brief the president? And what is the president's role? Like you're articulating exactly how Donald Trump would be at the forefront, promoting absolute strength. It really feels like the Biden administration is absent. There's not even a message.
No, there is no message. I mean, look, the message might be, we love China. We love the Chinese model. Let's turn this country to China. It's not the message I would endorse, but it's a message. If that's a message, let's at least hear it and debate it. But instead, we've got the president just not engaged. I think he had he wrapped things up at 4 p.m. yesterday. Karine Jean-Pierre doesn't seem to have a lot of answers. A lot of people are wondering after this classified briefing that I believe the Senate held yesterday. A lot of the senators walked out. They said they didn't learn any more than they knew before they walked in. A lot of stuff that they heard in this classified briefing they would have known if you just picked up the paper and watched TV over the last week and a half or so. I don't know why the White House can't come out and give a nice 20-minute beginning, middle, and end presentation as to what exactly happened, where this thing came from, what we've learned, and what these other 3 or 4 objects are. Were they UFOs, as people have been saying? Were they Chinese? Were these just helium balloons from a birthday party? We just don't know, and we ought to know. This has been going on for days and days. We ought to have some answers as taxpayers as to what our government is doing about this, and instead we've just got ourselves a lot of questions and a lot of head scratching.
For people to kind of put into context this idea, like, are Americans going, well, what interest would the Chinese have in spying over all of the United States? Why would they want to do that? I mean, if you zoom out on the scenario and you look at the context of the global power struggle that might exist between China and the United States, and what are Chinese interests in the lives, the everyday lives, and the landscape of the United States of Americas, I'm curious what you think that the administration is not talking about, or what American people should understand about that larger picture when it comes to China and their interests in our personal lives.
Well, a couple of things. One is that this balloon purpose might have been espionage and espionage alone. A lot of people think it might have been that, but also, and maybe even more so, a test of Joe Biden. How would Joe Biden respond? Would we blow this thing up over Alaska and say, you're over American airspace, don't do that? Or would we see what we did, which is the spy balloon was allowed to conduct its entire mission across the United States of America for about, 4 or 5 days, while the whole world looked in astonishment as America did not respond. And once the thing is over the beach of, over the ocean in South Carolina, then blow it out of the sky. This looked incredibly weak. It looked like something reminiscent of Jimmy Carter. And if that were a test of Joe Biden's strength and resolve and leadership, he failed it miserably, which means that we all as Americans failed it miserably. So that's one aspect. And then the other thing, I wrote about this in Newsmax and Daily Caller, a recent article I did on how dangerous and how terrifying it would have been if Xi Jinping had said, listen, if you blow up our peace-loving balloon as it's flying over America, we're just going to cut off your supply of antibiotics. And good luck with strep throat, good luck with pneumonia, good luck with gonorrhea. They control about 90% of the world's supply of antibiotics. We've let them have control of the precursor chemicals for antibiotics, as well as strategic minerals like cobalt, lithium, and this other stuff we need for defense, for electric vehicles, et cetera. And we really we've got our necks out there with a big sword over our backs, and let's hope that the Chinese don't decide to swing that machete, if you will, to mix metaphors a little bit, because if they do, at any point they could cut off. They could say, you know what, no more exports of antibiotics to America until you people learn some manners. If they roll into Taiwan and we object and we have a military response or whatever it might be, Xi Jinping can say, all right, no more antibiotics for you. Good luck with all those bacterial infections. Enjoy. And we've left ourselves very vulnerable. I think we need to say to companies that are in China, which are involved in this business, to move back. If you're here and you reestablish your antibiotic factories, drug factories, whatever it might be, you can make as much money as you want and pay no corporate tax for the first 5 years. If you're a brand new company and you want to launch such a company in this country, you got 5 years to do it. We're not going to charge you any corporate tax. Just we need a Manhattan Project type effort to get those literal life and death technologies and substances and whatnot recon to the United States. We need to disconnect from the Chinese. Look, if we have a shortage of tennis shoes, we can live through that. If we have a shortage of antibiotics, you're going to have people dropping dead, and it's going to be deadly, deadly serious. And this needs to get our full focus and attention immediately.
Yeah, Deroy, I have a countdown on my phone so that I always know exactly how many days until the next presidential election. 629 days until we get to go cast a vote for the next person to be president or potentially to reelect Joe Biden. 629 days is a long time. I mean, there's still another couple months practically before you actually inaugurate the next person, if that's the outcome of that. Seems to me like the points that you're illustrating about China and what they can do and the fact that they're being so bold as they are to fly these balloons across our country and so on and so forth, that 629 days is a lot of time for damage to be done. I'm curious what you think that Americans need to do right now to adequately react to, prepare for what those days might entail.
You're right. I mean, look, even if Joe Biden is defeated by Donald J. Trump or Ron DeSantis, Nikki Haley, Tim Scott, somebody will come in and actually, I think, have sensible public policy. It's not going to be until January 20th, 2025 until that person can come in and start to reverse not just the damage we've seen up until now, but the damage that will continue if we continue on this path in which we find ourselves of big government socialism and international weakness. I think if you're the average American, I think it might be a good idea to stock up on the drugs, antibiotics, that kind of thing to the best degree you can. Be ready for shortages. And, who would have imagined we'd have a shortage of baby formula shortage, shortage of feminine hygiene products, all sorts of stuff that we used to be able to walk in the store and pick up easily without thinking about. The shelves are empty. Egg crisis. Whoever thought in the United States of America you'd have to think about, can we afford eggs this week? Astonishing. So, if you can get anything you like at a good price, buy it now, because who knows if it's going to be around. In terms of our diplomacy, we need to be as tough as possible with the Chinese. These are really hardcore people. These are not our pals. And as I say, in terms of our manufacturing of drugs and strategic minerals and stuff, we need to bring that stuff back to this country as soon as we can. And until the Chinese Communist Party is replaced by either a constitutional republic, a democracy, or at least something akin to what we had under Deng Xiaoping as communist, but more with a little bit of capitalism sauce on top. This is just going to get tougher, nastier, and uglier. We need to be wide awake and aware of that, not just trying to cuddle with the Chinese, which is what we seem to see from the Biden administration.
Deroy, that's great advice for people who are listening right now, things that they can actually do and measures that they can take. Before we let you go, we'll get into the election. I mean, if we're not there already, the campaign cycle. And I feel like as somebody who covers the news and elections very closely, you can kind of become atrophied to talking about these things in ways that aren't super mainstream. And we get into the cycle of picking candidates and campaigning for candidates and advocating for candidates, that sometimes it's more about winning that game than it is about the purpose of what happens if, like, what's the prize? And the idea of it being an America first mentality where we celebrate American strength and American pride sometimes gets lost in the shuffle of just trying to put another point on your player's scoreboard. What do you want people who are involved and interested right now in what's going on to do and think about when it comes to this primary that's going to be happening soon and then eventually the general?
Yeah, well, I think the broad point I'd make is that people need to focus on public policy. We've really gotten caught up in this country in the idea of, well, this person seems nice, or, oh, I'd really love to have a beer with Nikki Haley, or it'd be really fun to sit down with Ron DeSantis on a beach and throw a Frisbee back and forth. That's lovely and delightful, and if you want to have those images in your head, that's great. But I don't think there's much chance anybody's going to be playing golf with Donald J. Trump, Frisbee with DeSantis, or, having a cup of tea with Nikki Haley. Focus on what does this person believe in terms of the role of government in our lives. Is this person going to increase or decrease our freedom? Is this person going to make this country more prosperous or more poor? Will this person make this country stronger or weaker on the international stage? And what will be this person's legislative agenda in terms of things that the next president will sign into law or veto and hope to defeat, and focus on that. And, if this person is obviously a bank robber or a rapist, then we don't need that person in the White House. But we spend so much time focusing on, oh, this person's nice, or I really like his tie, or what have you. This would be a nice dinner guest. We need to get beyond that sort of thing. And again, focus on public policy, and that would be the basis on which we select our next leaders, rather than just having, kind of a sort of a personality contest, which is so much of what American politics has turned into.
Yeah, the stakes are too high not to, and people, absolutely, I think, understand that. Deroy, we appreciate you as always. Thanks for being with us today.
My pleasure. Good to talk to you again.
You as well. Nationally syndicated columnist, Fox News contributor, Deroy Murdock. Appreciate his time spent with us today. Now, when we come back, kind of really great segue into our next conversation. Brad, you're a customer of STS Armory in Pontoon Beach. Am I right?
You are right.
Yes. We just love if anybody in my orbit is going to STS, we're all like texting about it. Like, what are you doing? What are you getting? What are you looking at? What kind of budget do you have? Blah, 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 blah. Well, STS is going to come and be with us in the studio. I am an advocate strongly, and I don't really talk about this a whole lot on the air. It's not something that I'm 100% comfortable just like blabbing about. On this station, Mark Cox has 2A Tuesdays, and it's a great segment. If you haven't taken that in, make sure if it's your thing and you haven't ever tuned into the Mark Cox Morning Show, you need to check out his 2A Tuesday segments. He does them every Tuesday, as you can imagine. I'm 38. I've got 4 kids. One of them is still in diapers, and I strongly believe in the Second Amendment. I support it. Dana Lash, she's on this station in the evenings. She is a guru when it comes to the Second Amendment. I'm just a hair above novice, I would say, and I'm learning and I'm soaking in what I need to know to fortify my safety, security, my ability to provide for myself, and I do it all through STS Armory. They are a sponsor of this show, and I said, would you guys please come in and talk to us about the laws that are in Illinois, maybe the implications that they have across the country. What does it mean for a Missouri person who is coming into Illinois that maybe carries their weapon? Like, what are all the things? What are the details? I want your help, though, because I would love to know the questions that you want to have answered by Katie and Jesse, the owners of STS, when they come in the studio. So if you get onto the Annie Frey YouTube channel right now, you can leave questions right there. Just, identify that you have a question for the guests and ask your question there. And I will try to get some of those questions into our conversation. They're going to be in here for the rest of the hour. And we're also going to talk about being prepared. And we're going to be talking about, what if you're like, I've had multiple people in my family. They've owned a rifle and it was to take care of rodents that were bothering the farm. What is it like if you want to go in and you're like, no, I think I'd like to have a handgun now, but you don't know anything about it. You know nothing from nothing. STS is the place that they went, and STS is the place that they've gone back to since then because of how the whole thing is handled. So that conversation for the rest of the hour, but I need your help. Like I said, join us on the Annie Frey YouTube channel and send us your thoughts, your questions, your reactions, what you want clarification or more information on, because the experts are about to be in the studio with us on the Annie Frey Show. We'll be right back.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
What I'm saying, trying to catch the beat, make up your heart. Don't know if you're happy or complaining.
CAJonesInc.com for those of you who are looking to build a home on the Illinois side of the river. It's a lovely place to live. You know, there's some details that we're working out. But anyway, lots of people building in Illinois choose C.A. Jones. And there's an obvious reason why. And you can go to CAJonesInc.com and you can see some of the house. They have homes that have been built that nobody's lived in yet, and they're for sale. You could buy one of those if you're looking. Have you checked them out yet? CAJonesInc.com. Check out their inventory that they have available for purchase right now. And also, you can check out the different layouts that they have for homes. If you're looking for something that maybe you're looking to downsize and you've had this house, you've raised this family, now you're empty nesters, and you don't really need all the space, but how wonderful would it be to have the house that accommodates your needs, but has all the things that you want exactly where you want them? C.A. Jones can do that for you. They are proud to be Energy Star certified. They are proud to offer you 10-year builder limited warranties, including a lifetime waterproof basement warranty. Like I said, they have all the things, and they're all there for you to check out at CAJonesInc.com.
I'm Howard Mackler of GetRefunds.com. You may have heard me talk about the payroll tax refund program that gives businesses up to $26,000 for every employee they kept on payroll during COVID. But today, I'm not going to do the talking. I'm letting a real Get Refunds client tell you everything.
I'm Ray, owner of Manzi Insurance and Real Estate. I heard about the payroll tax refund and GetRefunds.com on the radio. When COVID hit my business, I scrambled to figure out how to protect our employees and customers while still being able to service our clients' needs. They got me approved for a payroll tax refund, and with that money, it allowed me to upgrade our technology to provide the means for some employees to work remote while also protecting those that return to the office. If you have a business, you should go to GetRefunds.com and start your claim today.
GetRefunds.com helped their business, and we can help yours too. Go to GetRefunds.com and see if you qualify in just 8 minutes. GetRefunds.com, powered by Innovation Refunds.
For adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy, now there's Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months, and Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Nothing and me go hand in hand. Nothing on my skin, that's my new plan. Nothing is every day.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, you could achieve 90% clearer skin. Ask your doctor about the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis and visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Decisions by getting Rhino Shield. The latest one, the Central Illinois Care Services, they have decided to go with Rhino Shield on the outside of their building so they won't have to worry about maintenance from now on. The list is long. Joe's Tire out in Sullivan, Stonehill Wineries in Herman, they've all got Rhino Shield on their buildings. You can have it on your business or your house. Just call 877-25-RHINO. Let Darren come out and give you a free estimate as to what it would cost to get this great product on your home. 25-year transferable warranty, 100% waterproof, 8 to 10 times thicker than paint, and as a satisfied customer, 15 years in, I can tell you it looks as good as the day they put it on. You're going to love Rhino Shield. Call them right now. Tell them you heard about it on the Mark Cox Morning Show. Again, 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
The Mark Reardon Show.
The new Bally Sports Midwest Cardinals announcer, Chip Carey, also my classmate, 1983 Parkway West, joins me Wednesday afternoon.
Weekdays from 3 to 6 on 97.1 FM Talk. This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @AnnieFryShow.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Thanks for being here with us today. It's Wednesday. Had to look at my sheet to remember which day it was. Thanks for changing that day on the sheet, Brad. Appreciate that.
My pleasure.
The day after Valentine's Day, naturally, now you're back to your normal way of life, and the Chinese balloon is still a question mark for a lot of people. Questions surrounding, we just got done speaking with Deroy Murdock and talking about all of those special interests that China has in potentially the failure of the United States of America. Why would they be spying on us? It's got a lot of people asking questions. It certainly is something that I have been thinking about myself. Like, what is the capability of a balloon flying over the country, carrying a payload the size of 3 school buses? Brad, I mean, where do your thoughts go when it comes to what we, like, the limitation of what we know?
There's a lot out there that we don't know.
Which makes you think.
Yes. So, like, my thoughts are, it's good to have a plan, be prepared, even if it's not like the most fleshed out plan, even if it's like, hey, if things go sideways, we're meeting at this place.
Yeah.
That's better than nothing.
Sure. And free to have that conversation. Yeah. But one of the things that I certainly have invested in over the last few years is trying to create a scenario where I feel comfortable protecting myself and also protecting my family, and also potentially providing for my family. And the number one way in my mind to do that is to be an owner of a gun or guns that I am competent and confident operating, which brings me to our next guest. New sponsors of the show. They've been with us before. I am a customer of theirs. We have Katie and Jesse Johnson from STS Armory, and you can go online right now to sts-armory.com to check out their website and learn a little bit about them. But Katie and Jesse, I'll start with you. Thank you for being in here today, because we have a lot of questions, and these are the same questions that when I come into the store and talk to you guys, I just have one question after the other, and you guys are the best at answering them.
Thank you for having us.
Of course. Katie, you and I have had a lot of conversations too. I think we're pretty similar in age. You've got little kids. I have little kids. You're the smartest woman I know when it comes to guns. Jesse's usually in there helping somebody else, and you and I are like, let's talk about this situation. Let's talk about that situation. Where do you wear your gun if you're wearing a dress? Where do you wear your gun if you're wearing a blazer? All of these things. I love that I can go in and talk to Katie about these things, and we kind of have like a sister in arms, no pun intended, when it comes to figuring out these questions and answers. So I appreciate you being here too.
Thanks for having us.
Of course. So I have made several purchases at STS Armory. Brad, you've been to STS Armory as well?
Yes, I've made a purchase.
Yes, I have family members that have become frequenters of STS Armory, and I'm recommending them to you if you are anywhere on that spectrum. Jesse, what's the range of people who walk into the door at your store on 111 in Pontoon Beach? Are they all experts at guns? Are any of them like, I don't even know what I'm doing here, but I think that I need to buy a gun?
We have the full spectrum, anywhere from I've never touched one and I'm curious about it, to, hey, I'm experienced and I have a vast collection and I'm wanting to add one thing or another thing, or maybe sell something I have.
Yeah. And I think that for the people who are considering right now purchasing for the first time, and I know that we have a lot of people in this audience who are collectors. It's about finding the next thing. They're on a hunt for the next gun that they're looking to purchase. There are also people who listen to this show specifically who are like me, 38, female, work downtown, or maybe you are on the go, maybe you're on your own, maybe you travel or whatever. And Katie, I want to feel less at a disadvantage because I'm a younger female when I'm out by myself.
Absolutely. We have lots of ladies who come in and we help them on every aspect of that, starting from either getting their FOID card and moving through the concealed carry process, or just explaining pepper spray or situational awareness tips.
Yeah, I really appreciate, too, the advice that you've given me specifically about the array of solutions that you might have to a problem or a scenario that I might propose. So if I come in and, you mentioned pepper spray, somebody might come into your shop and want to protect themselves, and they may be thinking like, I think I need to carry a gun, but they're like shaking while they're in the store, and you're like, maybe we start with pepper spray. You're able to help them with that.
Absolutely.
But the biggest thing that STS Armory has to offer, aside from the mechanism that you need to protect yourself, is the education. Katie and Jesse, you can talk about the classes that you guys offer. This is destination level stuff for people all over the gun ownership spectrum, education and proficiency. Jesse, tell me about some of the different classes that you offer and who takes them.
The most basic class we start with is our Illinois Concealed Carry class. It's a full 16-hour class plus. We cover every aspect of the law. The first half of it is a pistol course that teaches you everything you need to know about owning, about using, the safety, cleaning, how to actually properly handle it. Then we shoot, we go through qualification the state requires, we cover the law in vast detail with that. And past that, we do the renewal classes because every 5 years with Illinois, you got to come back and do another continuing education renewal class. We do some next level stuff. The What's Next class is very popular. Hey, I've got my carry permit. I've been carrying for a little while, or I just got it. What do I do next? I'm thirsty for knowledge, so what do I do next? And those are short, we like call mini classes, little 4-hour classes, and gets them to where they need to be more proficient with the firearm rather than just having it and having it in a holster and not exactly knowing what to do with it.
Yeah, I've talked with you both, Katie, especially you, and I have had conversations about the handguns that I have, the ones that I feel comfortable carrying. I do have my conceal and carry license, and I just looked at it right now, and I got it in 2019. Every 5 years, I got to, so I'm getting close. I will be going to STS Armory to renew that. Can you go early? And does it extend the 5 years? How does that work?
So you can apply up to 120 days out.
Probably not a bad idea.
Not a bad idea. I'd always pick the better weather months, so you don't have to rush to get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can do up to 120 days out. You can take the class. We normally say 6 to 9 months out from when you expire.
Okay, but being prepared ahead of time and having people who know how to teach us is so incredibly important. STS-armory.com if you want to learn more about it. But, Katie, I am equipped, and you've helped me become equipped. I'm very grateful for that. But at the same time, I've told you, and you guys are going to help me with this, I need to be as confident with my pistol in my hand or on my hip as I am behind a microphone talking about big world issues. Like, there needs to be a confidence that can only come through knowledge and practice. And that's something that you guys are able to offer people who are walking in. Maybe the first purchase is the pepper spray, but you can help people go from pepper spray to the next thing. For men who come in and maybe are saying, I'd really like my wife to be more protected, and she's game for it, but very nervous. How do you handle those situations?
Absolutely. So we have a couple different ways that we do that through our standard concealed carry class, offering them the ability to take just the first 8 hours if they want to, and then they can have the option to continue further while they're in that class or do a different class. We also do ladies only classes occasionally too, which are fun. The basic content is not a whole lot different, other than we kind of dive into the challenges that we as females have as carrying, different considerations on how our clothes fit us and where our options are to put that firearm. So we walk through that. We kind of specialize in holster fitting for the ladies.
Mm-hmm.
Again,
that's
clothes,
a conversation
clothes are a lot of
we've
different.
been having. I'm looking for the holster for myself.
Yep.
But like we were having this discussion. Katie and I were talking about this when I was there at the store a few weeks ago, and we were discussing, like, if I'm on my own, if I'm in a public situation, oftentimes it's very important for me for my husband to be there with me, but he can't always be with me. Brad, you come and, kind of stand guard and have an extra, if I'm meeting a bunch of people. And that's always super grateful to me. But I really want to be able to be comfortable myself in any situation. And we were discussing like different holsters, and, you were asking me about clothes that I wear, and, sometimes it's a full dress, sometimes it's a pantsuit, sometimes it's jeans and a t-shirt. All of those present different scenarios for me that, Jesse, I would assume you don't really have those.
Not typically with the dress, no.
No, not typically with the dress. But it rings in my ears to think about this, and it makes me laugh. You were like, if you have a dress and you wear this kind, you're going to have to pull your dress up. But at that point, you probably don't really care what's going. If you're drawing your firearm you're not really worrying about discretion at that point. It's what can I do to be the quickest and the most comfortable in that situation.
Correct. It doesn't matter what's under there at that point. If you are going to your firearm, it is what it is. But there are options to be able to carry in every single outfit, on body and off body. I also am an off body instructor. I teach how to properly carry off body as well as on body.
Okay. See, these are all the things that you're not really, if you're new to it, you walk in and you've got questions, but your questions have questions, and you need an expert who can give you those answers.
And just to clarify, when you're talking about carrying off body, what are you referring to?
So off body could be a purse. Typically, is the most thought of. A backpack, a fanny pack, a briefcase. There's lots of different instances, but specifically more sort of the purses.
That's fantastic. So we're talking with STS Armory. You can learn about them by going to sts-armory.com. Jesse, I want to set this up for you, and we'll get your response when we come back. But I also know, personally in my life, people who come to you, and they are collectors, and they've got very specific wants and asks.
Absolutely.
And they come to you, Jesse, because you're the guy. You're the guy who can help them down that road, to help them hunt whatever the weapon is that they're looking for. You can help them connect. You can help talk about all of the new gun laws that are being put into play, some of them in the court system. When we come back, you ready to talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely.
All right. Jesse and Katie Johnson with STS Armory. Very excited to have them back onto the show to have these kinds of conversations. Expert go-tos for us here on the Annie Frey Show, but for you on 111 in Pontoon Beach as well. Why haven't you gone yet? Obviously, you need to make an appointment. You don't even have to buy anything. Go check out the store, see what they're all about, and I bet you they earn your business. Let's have more of this conversation, plus your questions in the YouTube live comments. We'll get some of those out when we come back. Don't go away.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @Annie Frey Show.
Just like yesterday, then I'll get on my knees and pray. We don't get fooled again.
Michael's Flooring Outlet online at igotfloored.com. Your flooring purchase requires a few things. You work hard for your money. You want to make your money work hard for you. You want good quality products. You're willing to invest the money that it takes. Michael's Flooring Outlet respects that, and they do so by giving you a ton of options and also by providing you the information you need with great people. Their sales staff is fantastic. They're going to help you navigate the questions that you have about your flooring purchase, whether it's for a whole house or maybe you're just replacing the floor in your place of business. You need to make sure that you have people who are going to be able to answer those questions so that you can feel confident and maybe even a little braggy about your brand new floors in your home. Michael's Flooring Outlet has been answering these questions for St. Louisans for almost 30 years. You could be next. If you care about shopping local, if you care about supporting local businesses, Michael's is a great place to go with multiple locations across the St. Louis area. Reach out to them, talk to them about your pending flooring purchase. If you've shopped other places first, just make sure you give Michael's Flooring Outlet a chance before you make the final decision. All the information you need online at igotfloored.com.
I'm back to doing what I love and more, thanks to the Good Feet store.
Plantar fasciitis feels like pointed, sharp pain, very intense. I had instability. I was so frustrated. I didn't know what to do. And I was driving past the Good Feet store. I mean, why not? Give it a try. They wanted to make sure they fit me with the right thing. They brought out several different arch supports and gave me the opportunity to try them in shoes and walk around with them until they found the perfect ones. And the Good Feet arch supports were what gave me the relief I needed.
Call 314-317-9494 or visit one of our 2 locations on Olive west of I-270 in the Plaza with Subway or in Shiloh, Illinois across from Deerbergs.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Individual results may vary. Consult your physician for medical conditions. Visit the website goodfeetstlewis.com. Come in and try the Good Feet feeling today. Comfort you might have been missing for years. Good Feet products are proudly made in the USA.
Are there ways you could dramatically reduce your taxes in retirement? Oh, you better believe it. Learn how in a one-night adult education class, Retirement Planning 101. It's held at colleges and universities throughout Greater St. Louis. Each class is taught by a fiduciary advisor with decades of financial planning experience. In just 3 hours, you'll learn how you could reduce your taxes in retirement, get more from Social Security, pay for health care, invest for income, and more. If you've saved at least $300,000 for retirement, register by calling Financial and Tax Architects, your retirement professors, at 314-626-8816. You'll pay zero tuition if you call today. So don't wait. Call 314-626-8816. 314-626-8816.
Go to youridoc.com today. That's youridoc.com or call 314-966-5000. Ophthalmology Associates.
When you have an electrical emergency, call Reinhold Electric right away. They answer their phone 24 hours a day to make sure they can get your power on and stay on as quickly as possible. If you are planning some changes, maybe you're doing a remodel or maybe building brand new, Reinhold Electric works with residential, commercial, and industrial. Having a small electrical issue with your house or maybe your electric panel, call on Reinhold Electric to come inspect it. Their number 314-631-1158, online at reinholdelectric.com.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Make sure you're heating your home safely this winter with a heating system check. And for all other heating services, repairs, or if you need a new heating or HVAC system, visit aircomfortservice.com.
This is where real local and national accountability happens. This is 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis's home for conservative talk. The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Take your hand, my dear, and place them both in mine. You know you stopped me dead while I was passing by. And now I beg to see you dance just one more time. Ooh, I see you every time. And oh my, I like your style.
Yeah, well, we know that the suspect involved in this incident is dead. We're told from St. Louis Police Department that suspect attempted to steal a car here at the Gulf gas station. I'm going to get out of the way so you can see it here. Pretty active scene. This is located at O'Fallon and Tucker. O'Fallon being 13th Street. You can see yellow tape is all up. That victim is still on the scene. If we pan to the right, police are still trying to investigate how this unfolded. When we got here, that was uncovered. So that paints a picture of just how fresh this incident is this morning. We do know that police are pushing everyone that was on property off property. At this moment, this happened at about 6:05, so within the hour. We're at about 45 minutes now. Of course, it's a story that is rapidly developing. We know that the suspect, again, is deceased and that the victim is talking to police at this time. And we'll have the updates for you again through the KMOV mobile app. And for now, I'm going to send it back to you.
This is a KMOV report from this morning. A stone's throw. Actually, I have walked to that gas station because I ran out of gas between here and there one time. I get gas at this gas station all the time. Guy was getting carjacked while he was pumping gas. Folks, I have been carjacked in downtown St. Louis while I was pumping gas. I lost my car. I was pregnant at the time. It was 4:15 in the afternoon when this happened, and I was 7.5 months very pregnant looking, unfortunately. Anyway, this just happened this morning. The person who was being carjacked shot the carjacker dead. Kudos to KMOV, because I don't really know that this is always guaranteed. They called the suspect the deceased and the victim the person who was being carjacked. At least that status quo is still in play. I say this all because we have STS Armory in studio with us, owners Katie and Jesse Johnson in here. And my story about wanting to protect myself really goes back, Katie and Jesse, I've told you that story before, to when I was carjacked and I was unarmed. Would I have pulled a weapon out and shot that person? I can't imagine that I would have. But I do know that person who attacked me, who took my car from me, was later arrested for aggravated assault with a weapon, with a deadly weapon. So did he have a gun on him when he took my car? I'm certain he did. People need to be able to protect themselves. I have worked my way into being more comfortable with this. Jesse, I talked to you about, weapons or firearms that we have purchased, and you've talked to many people in my family and friends of mine when they come in seeking something out specifically. How do you address the folks who walk into STS Armory there in Pontoon Beach on 111 with a specific request. Can I get this? Is this even legal in Illinois? There's a lot to discuss.
It's a lot to unwrap. With that, I ask them kind of what's the purpose. If it's just concealed carry or is it a fun gun, they want to take their range. Where do they want to go with that? And then we kind of look at, what experience do you have? What fits you? That's a big deal. Most people think a firearm's a firearm's a firearm. No, what fits you? It's like a shoe is not a shoe is not a shoe.
Yeah.
It has to fit you. If it doesn't fit you, it doesn't work for you. So we kind of get them in people's hands and we start to work up what they're really looking for and then go from there with it.
And they may not have any idea what they're looking for, and they may know exactly what they're looking for.
Very common. I want this specific model number with this specific SKU and this exact gun. Okay, cool. We'll see what we can find.
Have the recent laws in Illinois limited? Have you felt the effects of those?
Absolutely. Without a doubt, there's a significant amount of inventory we had to pull off the shelf and put away because it's not quote unquote legal to sell anymore. It'd have to be registered by the end of the year. The irony of that is the number one firearm we pulled out of our case was a .22 target pistol. We pulled more of those than anything else out of our case and off of our wall.
A .22 target pistol?
It has a threaded barrel. Magically, it's an assault weapon.
What is somebody who's in Missouri and, what is it, constitutional carry here? Is that what they call it? What do they need to know about coming into Illinois with their firearm?
So if they have a Missouri concealed carry permit, they are legal to carry in their vehicle in Illinois. But if
their person?
On their person, yep, just like us Illinois residents can. But say they stop at the gas station to get gas, one of the most transitional spaces, they are supposed to lock their firearm up inside their vehicle.
Lock it up. Mm-hmm. So it can't hurt anybody. So I have a friend who is looking to expand his firearm ownership, and he doesn't know a lot, and he wants to make an educated purchase, which I think is something that is so important. People who don't hunt talk about hunters with the most ignorance, like about how much they care about animals and how they hate the land and all. It's like there's nobody who knows more about the land and the importance of doing this in a specific way than somebody who's out there hunting and understanding what it means to harvest, a deer, for instance. But also, when I talk to people in the gun store industry specifically, the amount of respect that you have for what you are selling it supersedes anybody else, because you know what you're selling, and a lot of people would see that you're selling something that's scary, but what you see is that you're selling defense, protection,
tools,
and something that people have a right to. That is a very important fact of it. Tools, exactly. If my friend is thinking about expanding and just being able to be in a position to be prepared to protect his family, to provide for his family, if they come in with a budget of maybe $500, $1,000, $2,000, how do you guide them on the process? Because I would feel like, if I come in and say I got $1,000 to spend, they're just going to figure out the best way to get $1,000 out of me.
Not at all. So that's a nice thing about our staff. We'll start with those questions, kind of like Jesse said, the first-time gun owner coming in. Same thing goes with that collection or expanding a collection. Figuring out what they want to do. What is their intended purpose? Are they wanting to hunt or to be able to hunt should they need to? Right now, unfortunately, some of the defense assault weapons, as our state likes to call them.
The Illinois versions.
Yes, they're very scary. Some of those are not available, but there are still options out there. There's still plenty of options, especially if you're looking for something, you say you have property, you want to be able to take small game. 22 rifles are still available. There's a lot of good options out there. And those don't have to break the budget. Now, if they are wanting something fancy, say for deer season next year, Illinois gets to go to single shot straight wall cartridges. We have those options available too, and we can make them legal for deer season.
One of the things that I'll just say here that I have purchased from STS is my husband and I decided to buy. He does most of the deciding, and I listen to Katie and Jesse and what they say, and I'm like, well, I agree with them, so Jared, you can have what you want. And I always tell him, like, if there's an EMP, I want lots of credit for being so supportive in all these guns, because I don't have any other skills. I'm like, I need to put this credit in the bank and withdraw it later. But we bought some 22 rifles, including this little Rascal rifle. I shot it this week. I love shooting this thing.
Is it fun?
It is. It's a single load bolt action. Am I saying all these things right?
Yep.
It's red. It's cute. But my two older children have shot that rifle. They've shot our Henry 22 rifle, and they also shoot the 22 pistol, and they've shot it enough times that there's no intimidation. Like, there's no fear, is what I should say, when they go to shoot that. They have a serious amount of respect for it. But these are all things that we bought for the purpose of, as our kids get older, being able to make sure that they understand and respect guns as well. One of the things you guys offer when it comes to classes is education for families.
Correct.
People of all ages. Can you talk to me about that?
Yeah, so we offer a full variety of kids' firearm safety classes. So we do the concealed carry, we do the advanced stuff, but if we don't start training the next generation, we're going to lose it. So we start with kids' classes. I start my kids as young as 4. We start with the Eddie the Eagle program through the NRA, the stop, don't touch it, run away, tell a grown-up. You guys can control what you do at your house, but you can't control what happens out in the real world, say friend's house. Even some of our own family members don't properly store firearms. So teaching them what to do should they encounter it. And then we teach them the respect. So we start with the safety rules, what they mean, the whys, how to properly ask mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, whoever it may be, how to touch that firearm or when it's appropriate, and how to gracefully say, okay, when they say no, now's not the right time. And then we do teens as well, where we teach them the seriousness of the firearms and the fundamentals of how to shoot.
So what I think it's important for people to feel that ability to have that confidence. It does take so much of the fear out of it. When I've gone shooting with some people in my family who have not shot firearms before, they're almost frozen around this unloaded inanimate object sitting on a table. And it happens so quickly that once you understand the thing, then you quickly go, this is a serious tool, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not scary because I understand it. Jesse, a lot of people who are maybe critical of what you do for a living or our support here of the Second Amendment, they don't understand it.
They really don't have a concept. It's fear through the unknown. If you don't know what something is, it's easy to have fear with it. Once you see it and understand it, the fear disappears. We've had a few classes, namely one recently, where a parent brought their child that was of concealed carry age just to be a support, and the parent had never touched it and was actually very fearful even looking at him up front. And then at the end of the class, it was one of my happiest students I've ever had. This is awesome. This is exciting. I love this. I want to do more of this.
Well, we're speaking with STS Armory right now. I want to encourage you to go to sts-armory.com. Can they sign up for classes there?
No, but they can call the shop.
Call the shop.
Or stop by.
Just go, people. It's fun. I'm going to have my kids in a class. We're going to sign up for a child's class. And I think I also want to maybe do like a ladies' night with the Annie Frey Show if you guys are up for that.
Let's do it. It'd be fun.
Yes, I would love to be there. Maybe we'll even let Brad come.
I could put a wig on.
You don't even have to do that. Just be the escort or whatever. We appreciate you. You guys, thank you so much for being in here.
No problem. Thank you for having us.
Great information. Please consider supporting our sponsors, STS Armory. Go to sts-armory.com for all the details of what you need to know. We'll be right back.
With inflation on the rise, you may be charging more to your credit card. But be careful. That increased debt can cause your credit score to suffer.
Don't get stuck with a low credit score and a mountain of high-interest credit card debt. Call Golden Oak Lending now.
Refinance with our low rates to wipe out your high-interest credit card debt and put extra cash in your pocket. Call 314-567-GOLD.
Golden Oak Lending cured my blues.
NMLS 114937.
After a decade of rising home values, Fed Chair Powell says we're entering a difficult market correction. Translation, your home's value is likely to plunge. That's bad news for all homeowners, but especially if you're retired or nearing retirement and need the cash that's tied up in your home. Here's a smart solution, TrueHold. TrueHold will buy your home today before values plunge. But here's what makes TrueHold unique. You can continue living in your home with a comfortable rent. The cash is yours now to do whatever you like. Travel and enjoy retirement, invest it, pay off all your bills, whatever. TrueHold even covers property taxes, insurance, repairs, and maintenance. TrueHold is the simple, easy solution to unlock financial freedom without having to move and disrupt your life. Discover how much TrueHold will give you now, while its value is high. Call 855-300-9993. Again, 855 888-300-9993. That's Truehold. Visit Truehold.com. Truehold.com.
Join us at Odyssey as we all do our one thing, together millions of things, for our planet. Raise a fine glass of wine to your sweetheart and the environment. First, don't get hung up on packaging. Many great wines now come in boxes, which produce half the overall emissions that bottles do. Also, cardboard is just as easily recycled as glass. Finally, look for estate wines, where all grapes are grown on the vineyard and not trucked in from distant locations. When we each share our one thing, it becomes 100 things, 1,000 things, 1,000,000 things for our planet. What's your one thing?
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
The president calls it a blue-collar blueprint. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. He's at a union hall in Maryland.
For the past 2 years, we've been carrying out my economic plan that grows the economy from the bottom up and the middle out, not the top down.
Defending his agenda and criticizing Republicans who blame him for high inflation. This as the president faces some bipartisan calls to talk about the 3 still unknown objects shot down recently after the Chinese spy balloon. A town hall planned for tonight in East Palestine, Ohio, where residents have many lingering questions about a train derailment and chemical burn, including why the evacuation zone wasn't bigger than a mile. Gianna Gianos lives 12 miles away and says the air still smells. Some in the community are moving larger animals.
Like outside of the area, but I don't think anybody knows what's far enough away.
Around East Palestine, dead animals and dead fish are adding to residents' concerns about their own health, with the first lawsuits already filed. EPA Administrator Michael Regan telling Fox News,
"We can commit that we will communicate effectively. We will communicate all of the results that we have."
This as tests of the air, water, and homes continue. Arizona has a 3-mile shelter-in-place order in Tucson over hazardous materials from a deadly crash.
Officials say a commercial tractor truck carrying highly corrosive liquid nitric acid overturned, spilling the materials on Interstate 10, causing a portion of the freeway to close in both directions. The driver was killed. Residents within the shelter-in-place order are being told to stay inside, to turn off their heat or air conditioners. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says exposure to nitric acid can cause health issues, including irritation of the eyes, skin, and sinuses.
Fox's Kristen Goodwin. An hour to the close on Wall Street. Stocks remain mixed. The Dow's down 73 points. America is listening to Fox News.
I'd rather ride a bike with my kids than ride in an ambulance.
I'd rather have a catch with my dog Curtis than catch pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with certain chronic conditions like heart disease, asthma, or diabetes, you may be at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20 pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect against pneumococcal pneumonia in just 1 dose. Learn more at Prevnar20.com. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. The most commonly reported side effect was pain at the injection site. For additional common side effects and full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Let's get it up to 69 degrees this afternoon with lots of sunshine, a little bit on the windy side. Tonight, clouds take over quickly. Rain, a rumble of thunder after midnight, 39. Thursday, unsettled, changeable skies. Some showers around in the morning, maybe a rumble of thunder, a couple of wet snowflakes in the afternoon. 48 for the high Thursday, but 38 by late in the day, 20 at night. This is 97.1 FM Talk, Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Have you been lied to by Washington politicians and the Wall Street propaganda machine? Hi, this is best-selling author Don Chamberlain from right here in Greater St. Louis, and I want to give you a copy of my new book, Crash Proof Wealth, because according to Time magazine, Wall Street's retirement plans in 401ks and IRAs have failed millions of Americans. After seeing the last market crash over 39%, I had enough. There may be a way to grow your money when the market goes up, potentially double digits in good years, reduce taxes, and and have my principal protected if the market declines again. Call Chamberlain Group now to get my free book and talk to me personally to discover the strategy to get potential double-digit growth during good years and never lose principal if the market declines again. Call 1-800-807-3838 to discover this asset, and I'll even cover shipping and handling. No credit card required. Call 1-800-807-3838. That's 1-800-807-3838. Again, 1-800-807-3838.
This weekend, February 17th, 18th, and 19th, it's the semi-annual Missouri Arms Collectors Gun Show at the Arnold Eagles Hall in Arnold, Missouri. Browse tables of firearms, ammo, knives, books, and military items. Buy, sell, or trade. Admission's only $9, kids under 12 free with a paid adult, and parking is free. Don't miss the semi-annual Missouri Arms Collectors Gun Show this weekend at the Arnold Eagles on 1725 Jeffco Boulevard. For complete information, visit MissouriArms.com. The Missouri Arms Collectors Association is a not-for-profit NRA-affiliated club.
Discover credit cards do something pretty awesome. At the end of your first year, they automatically double all the cash back you've earned. Everything you've earned, doubled. The cash back from trips, restaurants, all doubled. See terms and check it out for yourself at discover.com/match.
This month's Zero Res Mark Reardon special. Get 3 rooms cleaned starting at $119 plus. They're throwing in a free hallway. Also for the month of love, take $75 off your air duct cleaning. Call 314-474-2020 or book online anytime at ZeroResSTL.com.
Foley Dental Group, online at FoleyDentalGroup.com. They just saw my 2 older kids. The 10-year-old has a couple cavities, and she was told that there's a part on her adult teeth or grown-up teeth or whatever that didn't fully form over, and it's a common thing. But there was when I was talking to both of them after they left, there was no lamenting of having to go to the dentist. She's going to have 2 cavities filled, and there's no worry about that. And that's because Foley Dental Group is fantastic when it comes to making people comfortable, even kids comfortable. If you are looking for a dentist for you or for someone in your family, I will tell you that the Frey family goes to Foley Dental Group, and we don't have any problems when you see the dentist appointment on the calendar going to the dentist and just doing the thing. It's not a matter of stress. They give you an amazing amount of care. It's a whole health care approach that they will give you through your dental visit, and they're able to provide you solutions to problems that maybe you didn't really necessarily think have to do with your dental situation, but they can provide those solutions for you. Sleep disordered breathing and different types of things that might have to do with that. Foley Dental Group is there to care for you and your family, people of all ages. They do my family, and I hope you'll consider letting them give you the opportunity to experience their care. Go to FoleyDentalGroup.com.
Connect with the personalities and give your feedback. 97.1 FM Talk is on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. For content that's additional to the radio, join us there.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what you're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Into that field, but it was awful. And I'm saying it, and I know you don't care, but I care. Okay? Anywho, where are my chips? Where's all my chips and stuff?
They're coming. We got them.
This is the beginning of the show.
Chips.
Oh.
Here we go.
Let's go. Yeah, let's get that. Yeah.
I'm not really like a View person, and I really don't give two
shakes.
Yep, about what Whoopi thinks about politics. But she was in the middle of it, like reacting to the Super Bowl, and she looks straight into the camera, and she says, "Where's my chips?"
I've got renewed interest in Whoopi Goldberg. I'm going through the Picard series on Paramount right now. Apparently she shows up at some point, and I'm trying to...
What's the Picard series on Paramount?
It's the Star Trek series that takes place...
What was her name in Star Trek?
Guinan.
That's right.
Apparently she shows up at some point. I haven't gotten there yet, but I'm kind of bracing myself for, is she going to bring politics into it or not? But I like moments like that because it makes me like Whoopi Goldberg again for a moment.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, and Whoopi gets to be in charge of her own career. If she wants to not be actress and now be political commentator, she gets to do that. But I really enjoy people who are like, I'm here to entertain you, and they just entertain you. And there's no jading of the picture. Like, Chris Pratt, who's the best Pratt, or no, maybe the best Chris also.
Wow, both?
Yes. He met his now wife at church. That's a story. I've seen the headline multiple times. The algorithm has perceived an interest that I have in Chris Pratt. Who am I to judge the algorithm?
For me, every day, it's Keanu Reeves. Don't know why, but apparently they want me to know how good of a guy Keanu Reeves is.
Yeah, that's also a thing. Publicists can buy keywords.
Yes.
People need to understand that. But I'll go through my Google stories here every day, and Google is following me everywhere I go. So they think they have a clue as to what I'm interested in. And they're kind of right for the most part. I do a lot of stories that Christie on potential DeSantis White House bid. None of us really know who he is on national stage. That's not a bad thing. Here's something about Universal Studios. The algorithm knows that I bought a share of Disney stock. So I get a lot of stock tips now.
You're a day trader.
And I always look at them and I'm like, ooh, this is I don't understand any of this. I'm out. So, but one of the things that I get on a regular basis is a Chris Pratt story. It is important for people to understand, based on somebody's decision, that Chris Pratt went to church, met his future wife, and that is headline worthy.
Mm-hmm.
Good for him.
Yeah.
It makes me like him more.
For me, I find out every day that Keanu Reeves did something amazing in the past. Like he was just on a subway and he was just talking to people like a regular person. And that's apparently amazing enough that it rises to the level that I should know that.
There is a whole thing about Keanu Reeves just being a regular old guy.
Yep.
Even when he takes pictures, people zoom in look, he didn't even put his hand on her. He did the hover hand. You know?
And the other thing about
Keanu Reeves, good guy.
Yeah. And we all agree now. Either Keanu Reeves actually is a good guy or he has a great PR team.
Do we need those stories in the midst of all of the other bologna sausage that we consume on a regular basis? It's oddly refreshing.
It is. I don't ever click on it, but I will hover on it for just a half second longer.
Have you ever clicked on something because you're interested and then immediately regretted it because now you told the algorithm that you're interested in this?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Where it's immediate, oh man, this wasn't even worth it.
Yes. Yes. And
what's
now
your thing?
all I get now, but the problem is I will sit and watch 100% of them, is when somebody rescues a dog from a channel. Or
is it the dodo or whatever?
It's probably one of them, but it's always a dog falls into some water somewhere, and I'm like, oh man, is that dog going to get out or not?
Here's two important questions from frequent flyers on the Annie Frey YouTube channel. The first one is Scooter saying, are we making fun of Keanu or genuinely liking him?
We're not making fun of Keanu at all. We're making fun of the algorithm telling us how important it is to know that Keanu's a good guy.
I think the important thing is for everyone to know that I genuinely don't care about Keanu, even though the algorithm is saying you should care about Keanu.
I don't know. In that moment, I do care.
But like you said, if you're going to be confronted with Keanu news and the news is he doesn't suck, you're like, okay.
That's great.
Awesome. What's the weather tomorrow?
Kind of like John Wick 2.
I've never seen
I might have to go watch the other ones now.
I'm looking forward to the John Wick movies.
Here's the other question. Art says, I think the reason Pratt's church is in the news is because they're anti-LGBTQ. I have to say something on this. There are a lot of religions that don't endorse the idea of any kind of sexual activity outside of heterosexual marriage. So, that is a really narrow scope that might include... I just really want to say this very plainly, that sometimes churches are opposed to things that the world is really okay with.
No. Wait, I thought the church was just supposed to say, yes, rubber stamp everything.
Again, this is in the same category as Keanu Reeves, a good guy. Newsflash. This is apparently important to put in print so people know. But the idea that churches, and they don't have to be churches, they could call their places of worship that might be of a different God, different names, and they still might not be okay with things that the world is okay with. That's called religion. It's called faith. It's called you don't have to agree with it. You can be disgusted by it. Your opinion is permitted. Not by me, but by, God. Ironically.
Amazingly, the algorithm also thinks that I am, and I don't know why, because I get the Keanu Reeves thing. I would even get the Chris Pratt thing. Anything that we talk about on this show, I would get because my phone's
so
probably
much
listening.
Stuff.
Yeah. Now I probably will get Chris Pratt. We have never talked about Selma Hayek, have we?
Not probably as much as you'd like.
Well, Yahoo thinks that I am very, very interested in Selma Hayek because every single day.
Probably because of your demographics, you're male, you're in your 50s.
She's got a new movie coming out.
You jerk.
She has a new movie coming out. And that's probably why they're...
Maybe.
Yeah. Do you know what the movie is?
No.
It's a Magic Mike movie.
Oh,
Why is the algorithm pushing a Magic Mike movie to you?
Yeah, that is a great question.
I don't know.
No
This
idea.
story has nothing to do with Magic Mike. It says, this is why I have no Botox.
Brian, I need to see your search history.
I was going to say fine,
just
but...
start typing CH in there and see if Channing Tatum comes up.
Yeah. Since you've expressed such interest in Channing Tatum, we thought maybe you'd like Salma Hayek as well.
CH. No, it was anal dogs. They're getting rescued again. Man, how many dogs get into these freaking channels?
Art comments back about me saying that, the church and the things of the world conflicting is not brand new information. He says, but that's why Pratt is in the news. Otherwise, his personal life wouldn't really be in the news. But I have a question. Joe Biden goes to church every Sunday. He's a Catholic. Catholics don't support gay marriage. Why aren't we talking about Joe Biden and his angry church?
That's a very good question.
I know, but nobody else is going to ask or answer it.
Amazingly, the vast majority of Americans, I think still at this point, statistically, go to churches who do ascribe to that ideology.
And here's the thing. This is what frustrates me so much, is that what Art is expressing he has a concern with, and he has a right to. I'm not arguing with his ability to differ from the doctrine or faith of any particular institution of worship. Is what you have is a problem with Chris Pratt, and this is the avenue to levy that problem with Chris Pratt. Because otherwise, if you're not a hypocrite, then you'd have the same problem with Joe Biden. Anybody who attends a Catholic church, the Catholic Church would be more vocal on this as well if they're in it for their religious aspects. And the other thing here is that if you want to attack religion for not being okay with the lifestyle choices that Americans and people across the world are making every day, your problem is with religion. And if your problem is with a religion that does that, why is it only ever about Christianity?
Good question.
Because in this instance, people want to crap on Chris Pratt. And I'm not here for it because I said he is the best Chris and the best Pratt. Pratt. That's his Twitter handle.
Yeah, I mean, all the Pratts I know of,
Mm-hmm.
I would probably pick him as my favorite as far as movie stars go.
Probably.
I think so.
Pastor?
Is he the best Pratt?
No, you were going to say something.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say something, too. It's
we can just talk about that.
And if you're going to say that I'm not going to criticize Joe Biden because he doesn't ascribe to those views, then why is he going to that church? Why is he claiming to be a good Catholic if he's not ascribing to the teachings of the Catholic Church?
And what kind of religion takes its dictates from the people who worship there as to what part of doctrine is acceptable and not?
That's a great question.
It's a big problem now is just buffet, basically attendance is you go, yeah, I kind of like these aspects and these I like, I'll do that. I'm going to leave these behind. It doesn't really work that way. He's either God or he's not God.
And I will say that in the context of the LGBTQ conversation and religion and so on and so forth, if a religion, or at least a Christian religion that I'm exposed to as a Christian myself, if they are, and there are Christian faiths that support it and participate in it, there are Christian faiths that don't. Catholics being what is considered like default Christian, some people think they're interchangeable, and there's a lot of difference in all the different denominations of people who identify themselves as Christians. Here's the thing. If you're of a faith like the Catholics who believe, and I'm not Catholic, who believe that like an LGBTQ lifestyle is outside of God's design, you believe equally that any sort of sexual impropriety that is heterosexual, that is outside of the Catholic sacrament of marriage would be equally sinful. So, I mean, it's not to say that like anything heterosexual is okay and anything not is sinful. It's way more specific than that when we are talking about that Christian Catholic faith. And I don't want to speak for the Catholics because I'm a Lutheran. We're just a little conflicted on a certain specific kind of things. But when you're discussing faith and you're discussing religion, you have to understand that there are generations, millennia-long convictions that come from a belief in something that certainly many people will emphatically disagree with. If everybody agreed on this, I don't even know that the world would still be here. I think that would be checkmate. We're done. We're moving on to the afterlife. I mean, the idea that there's conflict there, and the idea that if you're a Christian and you are a member of a denomination that says, you know, we don't bless non-heterosexual unions, you have to know that there's going to be pushback on that and be ready to take that. And that is as old as dirt.
I mean,
That your Christian faith is going to evoke people who don't like you for that. It doesn't have to be Christian either. Muslims, Jewish faith. There are lots of things outside of the confines of Christianity that from a religious aspect, people adhere to those ideas because of a belief and a faith system and a higher power. Christians get the brunt of it because they represent, at least in the American system, the majority of it. And it's a political play.
But it's always, like, I'm glad you said the historical context because it's always something. You know, if the Bible is the guideline for Christianity, then throughout the ages, it's always something else that the world is pushing back on. That's the current event, which is why people are really interested because it's current. But you could look back over millennia. You go back to the Middle Ages, it was usury. You know, I mean, you could pick any number of things, and the world will push back, and the church has to either say, "Okay, we'll just do whatever the world's doing," or we're going to do what the Scripture says.
It is by its very nature countercultural.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it goes back to the first century. You know, being a Christian could have gotten you lit on fire to light a garden party. It could have gotten you thrown into a coliseum to be eaten by wild animals for the pleasure of thousands of people screaming. Why?
Joaquin Phoenix?
Well, yeah, especially him. No, but why? Because you said that Caesar wasn't God. That there's only one God.
Right. It's something different every generation. Jesus said, if the world hates you, know that it has hated me before it hated you.
Yeah.
There
so
you go.
if you're going to, you can't be wishy-washy.
You got to do it or not do it.
I mean, you can be wishy-washy, but that's actually definitive. In your attempt to be wishy-washy, you are being more definitive than you can ever imagine. And that's just part of the deal. Obviously, the summation of this whole conversation, I will sum up, where is it? With one of the comments here from Scooter. He says, it sounds like we genuinely like Chris Pratt more than Keanu Reeves.
I did not say that.
Imagine listening to this whole conversation and coming up with that.
that was what we were getting at, right? Right?
I just said Chris Pratt is the best Chris and the best Pratt.
Yeah.
I think Keanu Reeves is, or I have no problem with Keanu Reeves.
Ironically,
have I stated that I have a problem with Keanu Reeves?
No, but is he the best Reeves? Or is it Christopher?
He's definitely the best Keanu.
This could go south.
I mean, yeah, now we're hitting the real hot topics.
I am a big fan of Chris Pratt. I am not a fan of Keanu Reeves. So if you were taking like a math class, that would maybe have the greater than pointed towards Chris Pratt, and I'm okay with that statement.
Are you sure you're okay with that?
Yeah.
People are going to quote this when you run for office.
It's going to help me. I knew that. Yeah, let's go to break. Let's shake the dust of this town and go to break. I am just always interested in what the algorithm is going to throw up at you. And this was all because I was going to talk about something about the Super Bowl, and we just tangented all the way away from it. We're going to talk about that when we come back. We are going to recap the Super Bowl, which you've been dying to hear the Andy Frey Show talk about. for no amount of time. There are a couple points I want to make, and we'll make them when we come back to play.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
Working on the sound of the band, trying to get the music right, to go out working, reach their home at night. That's when she said she was pretending.
The Closet Factory, online at closetfactory.com, can help get your dumpster fire of a life into order, or at least that's what they're doing for the Frey family. That's just kind of the way it is. There are so many places in our home. Now we've got 6 people there, and we're all in different activities and different things and coming and going. There are so many places where a little organization goes such a long way. If you feel like you have this need for your house, or if your closet space, you walk in there and it's kind of doing the trick, but there's vertical space you're not using. And if you had somebody come in and assess your needs, they'd be able to help you so dramatically in getting your life in order. That affects it's a ripple effect into the entire home. We are working with Closet Factory right now to create a place for our kids to do their homework, to put their things after school, their sports stuff after practice, and to make it nice and attractive for people to come in and out of the house so the things are in their place. If this is something that sounds like you might need in your house, please consider the custom organization experts at the Closet Factory. Go to closetfactory.com.
We hear a lot about how different generations don't understand each other. What if we're wrong? Odyssey's podcast, It's Generational, is here to bring together baby boomers, Gen X, millennials, and Gen Z for conversations you won't find anywhere else.
I'm a little upset that I spend money on my hair.
I went and dyed my whole head purple.
I didn't get my license until 21.
And I wonder, as a Gen Xer, somebody who grew up biding your time as a teenager until you turned 16 and were able to get a driver's license.
Listen on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
If you need a new bath or shower in the new year, call my friends at Bath Fitter of St. Louis. Mark Cox here. We love our new shower and tub enclosure. It looks fantastic. No demolition, no mess, and a lifetime guarantee. Right now, they're having a sale for 20% off up to $1,000 or 0 interest until 2028. That's 5 years. Call 636-338-1648. That's 636-338-1648. Bath Fitter of St. Louis.
Hi guys, it's Mark. Did erectile dysfunction ruin your Valentine's Day? It's time to find the solution you need. This is a simple and painless process with no pills and no side effects. Today, Wednesday, February 15th, we're running a one-day special you won't want to miss out on. Pineview Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy. This is a technology clinically shown to repair blood vessels and improve blood flow. It's backed by 60 clinical studies, including from Cambridge University. Call us now and you'll qualify for the assessment and blood flow analysis totally free. You'll also get a gift that can produce rapid and powerful results in the bedroom in minutes. You're going to love that one, guys. Trust me. This is an unprecedented offer worth hundreds of dollars, but call today and qualify totally free. Call 314-530-7777. That's 314-530-7777. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your life back. Call Pineview Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today, Wednesday, 314-530-7777.
Hi, this is Steve Butts with the Crawford Butts Insurance Agency. I know we're all experiencing sticker shock when you get your insurance premium. Now more than ever, you need an independent insurance agent to find the best value for your family's insurance needs. Crawford Butts, family owned and operated for more than 60 years. Please give us a call at 314-752-2500 or at crawfordbutts.com.
Attention bourbon lovers, Mark Cox here. Join me Thursday, March 2nd at the Clayton Wine House for an evening of sampling and mingling. Tickets include appetizers and tastings from some of the finest vendors in the market. Visit 971talk.com/events and get your tickets now.
It's been a really, really messed up week. 7 days of torture, 7 days of bitter, and my girlfriend went and cheated on me. She's a California dime, but it's time for me to quit her. La, 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 whatever. La, 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 it doesn't matter. La, 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 oh well. La, 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 we're going at it tonight, tonight.
The Annie Frey Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
And we're dancing on the edge of the Hollywood sign. I don't know if I'll make it, but watch how good I'll fake it. It's alright, tonight.
Did you see that ad on the TV? It was an ad for Joe Biden right now, and it said, I think it's going to be up here. It says, call Joe Biden and thank him for delivering for families. They're telling Americans to call the president so they can thank him? It's kind of weird.
Paid for by
There it is.
Future Forward
Thank him for
USA
delivering
Action.
for families. Call President Biden.
Man, they must be struggling if they're running political ads right now.
I don't think it's legal, but I'd like to call that number on the air. I don't think you can call people and put them on air without their consent. So we won't do that. But
Guess who's going to get a whole lot of phone calls and texts after they do that, though? You.
My boss?
No.
Oh.
You're going to get them from the Biden campaign.
That's exactly right.
Let's call him from Mark Cox's number.
Let's do that. Yeah. He left his phone in here.
What the heck is going on here? Mark, I thought you'd like to thank him for helping your family.
Thanks, Joe.
Devious. I wanted to talk a little bit about the Super Bowl.
Please.
Only because there's this New York Post article. First of all, real quick, before I talk about it, did you watch it?
Watch the first half.
Which
was great.
Who watches the first half?
It was a
of the
very
Super Bowl?
undramatic ending.
Yeah. Are you glad you watched it? Why didn't you watch the second half?
Because kids had to get home for bed, and we were out, and we knew that they had to still study for tests. So halftime was it.
This is a really
Went
hardcore
home.
school. Tests after Super Bowl Sunday.
Well, not on Sunday
Just
night.
do what any self-respecting parent does and tell them to take school off the next day.
Well, I could, but my wife teaches at the school, so there's a whole lot of people missing school the next day.
Well, make sure you really stick it to the teachers when you tell her that that's what you want to do.
Oh, I always do. I'm a jerk.
So you watched part of it.
Yeah.
Sounds like you did it strictly for the social aspect.
Yes.
Was
Did
it fun?
not care about the game. I mean, I guess Chiefs being close, you go, well, I guess I'll root for the Chiefs. So you had a reason to root. Because sometimes years you're just like, whatever. But yeah, it's fun. It was at my mom and dad's house. They always make some food.
Brad, what did you do?
I had guests over. We ate food, and I scrolled Twitter to make sure that the aliens weren't invading. And my friend watched the Super Bowl. And
weird
then
priorities.
my wife and her and his wife played canasta, which I'm not a fan of. I don't like. Yeah,
Canasta. Is that like Mancala?
I wish you could hear Ryan's facial reaction to him saying canasta.
I've heard it.
Highly judgmental.
I can't picture it. I was trying to picture
It's a
the
card game.
It's a card game.
It
okay.
looked like he had a lot of jokes that he wasn't sure he could get away with.
I did.
I did too.
Okay, good.
No, I'm not a canasta player, but listen, I play Pinochle and Euchre, so I don't know how out of touch that is with my generation.
I think I've played both of those.
Oh man, I love it. I'm really good at Pinochle.
You play the Bob games. Bob Euchre and Bob Pinochle.
What?
I don't even know.
Is that like-
I held back on the previous jokes,
Oh,
so I felt like
is
I
this
had
the
to get
throw
one
it?
in there, and I didn't
ammo.
really have one. Yeah, thank you. That's fine. That deserves a pen throw at my face.
Brad just kindly handed me a pen that I could throw at Ryan.
Yeah. Keep them coming.
New York. Okay, so you know that I didn't watch it. I played Mario Party. We had a Super Bowl Mario Party tournament
Yeah.
at my house. So Mario Party is a Nintendo Switch game. I won't bore you with too many details, but it's a board game and you partner up. So it's 2 versus 2 and you can kind of strategize and there's luck and there's strategy and it's fun. And so we decided we would play 3 rounds of Mario Party. So it's with the 2 oldest kids, Mom, Dad, Charlie Jensen. And if you play 3 games, then everybody gets to be partners with everybody. And then we find out who the ultimate champion is. And I'll tell you who won that at the end.
I like.
No Super Bowl whatsoever.
Okay.
Didn't know what was happening. Didn't know it was over when it was over. It wasn't like I'm going to do the cool thing, the cool counterculture thing here and not watch the Super Bowl. I despise the NFL. I hate what they did to the city of St. Louis. It's that simple. I was a huge St. Louis Rams fan. I love the NFL. That boyfriend walked out on me and left me in the dust, and I will not give them any more of my attention. That's how I feel.
Okay.
New York Post reports an airplane passenger is being crucified by sports fans after he's caught being the only person on a flight not watching the Super Bowl. A photograph taken inside a darkened cabin hilariously highlighted how everyone on the plane was glued to the NFL thriller between Kansas City and Philadelphia, which the Chiefs won 38-35. More than 100 million Americans tuned into the annual sporting extravaganza, which had the added carrot of Rihanna's return to the stage for the halftime show. Whatever.
Did you hear about the halftime show? It's so good.
Oh my gosh. I can show you. I don't know if you can see this picture on this tweet, but it's a dark plane cabin. Every screen is on the same thing. And this other guy's watching, like, I don't know, is that Vince Vaughn or somebody on the screen? It's a movie.
Okay.
That would have been me. What? Is it so bad to be somebody on a plane that's not watching the Super Bowl? That it's like New York Post worthy?
It is a funny picture looking at every single screen, watching the Super Bowl and that one dude not doing it.
Oh, he was watching Hitch. So it wasn't Vince Vaughn.
It wasn't even a new movie.
Leah Remini's husband, or in that sitcom. What's his name? Comedian.
Kevin James.
Yeah.
Kevin James film.
I wonder if he's responded yet. He owes that man a thank you. Is it that egregious to not watch the Super Bowl?
Not when you're watching Hitch or Paul Blart.
Classic.
Here
Mall
comes
cop.
the boom.
Huh. I don't know who this person was. You can't even see because the cabin is so dark in here. But clearly, the Super Bowl is a must-watch thing. I found it interesting. The stuff. It's interesting to take in something like the Super Bowl, which is incredibly important to a lot of people. But there's also a portion of people who may be casually interested in the concept of the game for the snacks and for the social hour for just a small amount of time, just enough to like be there and decide, oh, I'm a real big fan of this because of how like some player made you feel while you were watching. And then you develop an allegiance that lasts about 2.5 hours and then you're done. Is that not exactly the way politics is around election season?
I would say for the majority of the country, yeah.
There are lots of people who watch the Super Bowl who pay attention to every down, to every trade, to every injury report. Their fantasy football team is like the most entertaining thing that they're involved in. And then the Super Bowl happens and, people say, oh, it's their Super Bowl about completely non-sports related things. The Super Bowl is the Super Bowl of Super Bowls.
Mm-hmm. Good comparison.
Thank you. I came up with it myself. I'm not interested in it. I'm on this side of that aisle. I'm actually so far out of it that I'm not even the casual will participate because it's the thing that everybody is doing. And I have no regrets about it. But we certainly have that same sort of mentality towards our election cycle, where it is trendy to be for or against Donald Trump. It is trendy to be associated with a political party or against it. It is counterculture right now to be conservative and Republican. There is a trendy piece of clothing that you can buy right now, which is a Reagan Bush 84 shirt, which I bought a jacket of and love because it got I was born in 84. It is counterculture now to be conservative. It used to be cool and rebellious to be liberal. When all of society, when all of the messaging, when all of the mainstream earthly influences out there are telling you not that you should be a certain way, but that you have to be a certain way, who becomes the rebel? The rebel becomes the people who marry maybe young, who want to have big families, who are content, women who are content with staying home and raising kids. And I don't even care if you're the man who wants to stay at home and raise kids because you have a significant other who is providing for your family. But the idea of investing in family, in a relationship where you choose to commit yourself fully to somebody else forever, that is counterculture now. That is rebellious. It's rebellious to live within your means. It's rebellious to think about other people before you think about yourself. It is rebellious to go to church and to worship God and to be willing to say, yeah, I'm a Christian. Is that a problem with you? And if they say, yeah, you can be like, well, I'm sorry that upsets you. God bless you.
God bless you.
The idea of rebellious right now, the things that are being forced into your face everywhere you turn, ceases to be rebellion, ceases to be counterculture, ceases to be, we don't use the word normal anymore. It ceases to be weird, ceases to be, air quotes, abnormal. All of that stuff, when it is everywhere you look and it's gotten so prevalent, at least I don't actually think it's prevalent in mass. I think it's prevalent in message.
Mm-hmm.
When you aren't even allowed to dissent on those types of issues, you now know where your counterculture movement starts to form. You now learn where rebellion starts to form. And I'm not talking like war rebellion here. I'm talking about kids who grow up and see what society is and says, I think I'd like to be different. Because that's what kids do. There is a potential opportunity now for people to go counterculture in a way that, from my understanding, many people did in the 80s. I give you Alex P. Keaton. Coming out of the 60s and the 70s, we had the 80s. There's an opportunity here. I think that there's a responsibility for me to advocate who I am. This is who I am. I'm a 30-year-old mother of 4, Christian, wife to 1. I believe in abstinence. I believe in monogamy. And I believe in living a wholesome Christian life in suburban middle America. That actually feels a little rebellious to say out loud. Imagine that.
It feels rebellious because you're picturing somebody grabbing it and going, oh, we got her now. Can you believe this? And that's because it's exactly right. Because it is one of those quotes that people go, oh, man, isn't this gross what she just said?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's rebellious.
They want me to feel ashamed of that.
Yeah.
But I just am okay with saying out loud, I'm not ashamed of any of it. And all of the things that I identified about myself, about my family, those are lifestyle choices that we choose. Are we okay with lifestyle choices? Maybe more people need to feel emboldened to speak up and be like, if this is rebellious for me to say, but this is inherently who I am, it's okay if you're not okay with it. If my Christian faith holds things true that, to me, that are not okay with you, my Christian faith doesn't restrain you. My Christian faith may restrain me. There are Christian faiths that don't believe in dancing or card playing or drinking alcohol or, a host of things that other Christian denominations thrive upon. There are differences. Even within the religious community, there are differences. And when the measuring stick comes out or the measuring tape seeks to measure somebody based on a certain set of standards, never accept the judgment or the final measurement of somebody coming at you when they don't live by those standards themselves, when they don't apply that belief system to themselves. It's not a fair assessment, and there's no goodwill in that. I think that's the biggest thing. Somebody who wants to come at you, because Brad and Ryan and I are all Christians. Correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yes.
If we wanted to go into a theological discussion in this room, there would be things that we would passionately, aggressively disagree on. Mostly with you, Ryan. Just kidding.
I don't think so.
No.
But yes, we would. Yes, we would. I think the core tenets we would agree on, and then past that, we would have fun discussions,
I
which we
look forward to
sometimes
seeing
do.
you in heaven one day. I can confidently say that. We don't go to the same church. We're not the same denomination. We have very specific values that are similar, but the details might be different. If the three of us were to have that conversation because we care about each other, it would be a good faith conversation. Where if I would say to Ryan or if Ryan were to challenge Brad or if Brad were to challenge me on any specific issue and cite scripture and say, this is why this says this and I think that, the end of that conversation, because we care about each other first, should end in a way where even if we ultimately agree to disagree, we care about each other at the end. People who want to measure you and didn't care about you in the beginning are not going to care about you in the end.
Yeah, it's the people that use the scripture. They're like, hashtag fake Christian. Like, if I come to you and I'm like, hey, I believe this because the scripture says this, this, and this, I'm coming from a point of I am moving and having this conversation with you out of good faith because I want to share with you what I believe is true in the hopes that maybe you will see it the same way that I do. But it's really because I care about you, not because I'm trying to cudgel you with the Bible. I'm not trying to grab the scriptures and hit you over the head with it and be like, aha, I gotcha. It's not a gotcha question whenever we have that discussion. When people who aren't Christians have that discussion, if it's not a good faith, it usually comes in the asking of, aha, gotcha, you're not good at being a Christian because, and they'll use a phrase like, you're not being nice, or you're not being tolerant, or you're not being, like.
What's it mean to be a Christian?
It's not in there. Like, you're supposed to love one another, but loving one another isn't how you define love. It's how the scriptures define love and how to love one another. So when people come at that, they've got this worldview of what love is, what tolerance is, and then they want to grab that and say, well, the Christians say that they're loving and tolerant. They're assuming that you have the same definition as they do of loving and tolerant, and they're slamming that on top of the Bible instead of actually understanding what's in the scriptures and what it teaches about stuff. And then they're like, aha, you're not even good at being a Christian because I got you here because you're not being loving and tolerant, and we're not even talking about the same thing.
I always think it's important to point out that my Christian faith to me, and I'm not going to speak for anybody but me in this, but the idea of kindness and being loving and being kind of accepting of an understanding that my measuring stick for my life may not be the same one that someone else has used for theirs, and I'm not going to thrust that upon them either. But the idea of all of the things you're supposed to do as a Christian to show the world you're a Christian, to me, that's all a post-grace scenario. And if you want to call me a bad Christian, and I get called that regularly, if you want to call me a bad Christian, I agree with that, because I am a broken, busted sinner, which is the only place where Christianity comes to me, where I am in that disgraced nature and makes me whole. That's where the unmeasurable gratitude that anybody has, if you've ever been in an earthly way wrong, incredibly wrong, you've done something that you're ashamed of, you've done something you cannot undo, you pay the consequences for it. When people come to you and say, I forgive you for that, and you go, I don't deserve that at all. I couldn't have been more wrong in what I did. I blew this so bad, you couldn't even possibly begin to forgive me. I was so wrong. And then when you realize that you were forgiven for that, it makes you want to change the world. That's the understanding of grace. And I'm talking about biblical grace, but I'm also just talking human to human personal grace. Forgiveness that can be given to your fellow man, your fellow woman, your friend, your family, the person you never talk to anymore because you're upset with them. Like that forgiveness, when it's received, whether it's through like a Christian channel and a biblical forgiveness or not, is incredibly powerful. That's where kindness and generosity and patience, that's where that comes from. Any of that that's done before grace, that's filthy rags. And I think that is something that I always want to reiterate. It says in my Twitter profile, I'm a Christian, and I put in parentheses because I thought it would help explain it. It didn't. That Christian means I'm an admitted and forgiven sinner. That's where my Christian faith puts me. The idea of being a good Christian, faith without works is dead, but that grace, that's ground zero. We're going to be in heaven together someday?
Mm-hmm. Can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
How did we get here from Mario Kart?
Mario Kart?
We started this.
No, Mario Party. Were you not listening?
Well, my Mario Party.
We got here because you weren't listening.
Is that what it was? I really can't. I was trying to link and I can't remember.
I was just saying I didn't watch the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And people were attacking me on Twitter. And I don't know. Listen to the podcast. Rewind on the Odyssey app or something.
I mean, that's a
great
opportunity.
What else am I supposed to say here? If I was a professional.
Get the podcast.
Wherever you get your podcast.
Wherever you get your podcast.
But
you can
hopefully
just type
the Odyssey app.
Annie Frey Show. You can watch us live. I mean, I don't know what you should do.
If you're a big fan of the Annie Frey Show and we have a flood of people go download the Odyssey app right now and follow the Annie Frey Show, people will notice and it'll make us look good. Is that a selfish promotion or what? Let's take a quick break. We'll get results to the YouTube live chat poll. Will President Biden be the Democrat nominee in 2024? We'll answer that question and read your responses with Hannah when we come back. Don't go away.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
Stewart's American Mortgage, Stewie and the Bagel Loan. He can help you be the most competitive offer on the home that you were looking to buy. That sounds great, right? How does it work? Well, it's called the Bagel Loan. When you use the Bagel Loan, you don't pay any of those fees that other lenders out there will charge you for. That means that they don't exist. Don't think that there's some like voodoo magic where you tuck them away and you just pay for them over the length of your mortgage or anything like that. Those fees don't exist. If you're saving thousands on your offer, you can take that money and put it towards your offer. You can put it towards the home. You can put it in your savings account or not have to borrow it. It's always a great way to make you a more competitive buyer. But he also can close in 12 days. Makes you a more competitive buyer. He gets you the lowest rates, making you a more competitive buyer. And he has on his website a way for you to generate pre-approval letters for yourself based on the highest amount that you want to put in there, based on what you've been pre-approved on for the offer you're submitting. So you don't have to wait on anybody. That access is yours. Reach out to my friend Stewie at Stewart's American Mortgage and use the Bagel Loan. I've refinanced twice with it, and I would love for you to give him a call. 314-324-4440. Google the Bagel Loan, NMLS number 226715.
I'm back to doing what I love and more, thanks to the Good Feet store.
Plantar fasciitis feels like pointed, sharp pain, very intense. I had instability. I was so frustrated. I didn't know what to do. And I was driving past the Good Feet store. I mean, why not? Give it a try. They wanted to make sure they fit me with the right thing. They brought out several different arch supports and gave me the opportunity to try them in shoes and walk around with them until they found the perfect ones. And the Good Feet arch supports were what gave me the relief I needed.
Call 314-317-9494 or visit one of our 2 locations on Olive west of I-270 in the Plaza with Subway or in Shiloh, Illinois across from Deerberg's.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Individual results may vary. Consult your physician for medical conditions. Visit the website goodfeetstlewis.com. Come in and try the Good Feet feeling today. Comfort you might have been missing for years. Good Feet products are proudly made in the USA.
Hi, this is Terry Hall, host of the popular radio show for veterans, Vet Time in America. Sundays at 12 noon on 97.1 FM Talk. Our show is all about veterans. We talk with experts. We help you get benefits, how to get more, and what to do if you're not getting what you deserve. Tune in on Sunday at noon. Join the conversation. We take calls. Vet Time in America. Tune in this Sunday at noon on 97.1 FM Talk.
You better believe it. Learn how in a one-night adult education class. Retirement Planning 101. It's held at colleges and universities throughout Greater St. Louis. Each class is taught by a fiduciary advisor with decades of financial planning experience. In just 3 hours, you'll learn how you could reduce your taxes in retirement, get more from Social Security, pay for health care, invest for income, and more. If you've saved at least $300,000 for retirement, register by calling Financial and Tax Architects, your retirement professors, at 314-626-8816. You'll pay zero tuition if you call today, so don't wait. Call 314-626-8816. 314-626-8816.
Join Mosby Building Arts every Saturday from 12 to 1 p.m. on 97.1 FM. Rich Orse and guests give insider tips about renovations, design, construction, exteriors, and more. Tune in to Right at Home with Rich on Saturdays or catch the podcast online.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Save up to $900 in utility rebates and see if you qualify for 0% financing on a new high-efficiency HVAC system. For details and to get into your comfort zone, visit aircomfortservice.com.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Our Attorney General, Andrew Bailey.
If even 10% of the allegations in the whistleblower affidavit are true, we have a significant problem on our hands, and it's about standing up and protecting children.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
I know the earth will lose a fight just to see a smile, 'cause you got no flaws, no flaws. I'm not trying to be your part-time lover. Sign me up for them full-time. I'm yours. All yours.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Ryan, I wanted to give this to you. I shopped for this.
You did not. I saw that in the break room. And I almost picked it up, but I thought, what am I going to do with candy?
I gave it to you. Now you don't have to feel like you took it from the break room.
Not eat it.
I saw it and immediately thought of you. I thought, ooh, free gift. Who would enjoy this? You would appreciate the thrift.
I do appreciate that, except that I already walked past it.
I wish you wouldn't have seen it.
Yeah. It says Happy Valentine's Day.
No, it
and
says Drama Llama.
It has a picture of a llama. It says Drama Llama.
Or in Spanish, it says Drama Llama.
Mm-hmm. It does. You pronounced that correctly. Good job.
We don't need to open it on air.
You sure we don't?
Yeah.
You have to share that, though, because it's like sugared candy.
The noise.
Oh, this is ASMR stuff.
Oh, gosh.
You don't like that either? I don't really love
no.
it. It's not, of all of the sound triggers
It's
that
not
I
the
have,
worst.
It's not the worst.
There's 5 pieces in this.
I
You
know.
were right
I
yesterday.
cared deeply about you. I wanted to get you the best bang for my buck.
Tell you what I'll do. I will eat one bite of each of the ones that
No.
look good to me. And the rest of these will pass on.
Do not do that in the microphone. We need to get to the YouTube live chat poll. Tell us what the poll is, Hannah, and we'll go around real quick and tell our responses before we get...
Will President Biden be the Democrat nominee in 2024? Yes or no?
Brad?
I'm a no.
Ryan?
I'm a yes.
I am undecided. No. Gosh. I would hedge my bets and say yes, but I think I
Hedge
would...
your what?
Bets?
Okay.
I thought, yeah.
What do you think I said?
Butts.
I said hedge my bets, but if it came out butts, then I will hedge my butts and say, no, I don't think he's going to make it. I think they're going to push him out. What do we have from our listeners? What are their butts saying?
64% of the butts say no, he's not running. I also
Butts.
think he's not going to run.
64 say no?
Yeah, 64.
Yeah, 64
It's
say.
not, no, wait, no, it's important to say.
Oh, not run.
It's not about whether he's running.
It's if he's going to be the nominee. My bad.
64% say no.
36% of the people say yes. I'll get to a comment really quick. Marley from YouTube said, I voted no, and I certainly hope he doesn't run. Our country is
Hi, Marley.
in a whole lot of trouble. Our son is in the Army, and I worry for him. Yeah, that's...
Yep.
But JS says, and as far as today's poll, who cares? He will lose.
I don't care about any of this. Why am I listening
I
to
was
this?
going to say that he was listening for the Chris Pratt commentary.
That's why people come here.
I hope Chris Pratt comes here.
Me too.
Wouldn't that be
That
so
would be
cool?
really nice.
Look who's here, Annie.
Oh my gosh, that would be so amazing.
Our boss.
We're going to see him in Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind
That's right.
in May when we go to Disney World together. Oh my gosh.
Forget Joe Biden. Let's talk about Disney.
Mark Reardon up next.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-777-1970.